Chapter 607. Coming to Shenzhen this time was an eye-opener for everyone. Chong really didn't dare to imagine that Su Yun could really bring them out of Hadong and into Shenzhen, an internationally famous metropolis. If Huaxia's Yanjing was America's Washington, then Shenzhen could definitely be called Los Angeles. Half a year ago, the most he could do was collect protection fees from the street vendors in Wenhui district of Hadong City. He didn't even dare to imagine that one day he could come to such a big city and mingle with the upper class. Not to mention Chong, even Lu Feng, who was the most knowledgeable of the three tigers of Nanqing, was so shocked that he swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva. The underground parking lot of Xinkai Hotel was bigger than the entire courtyard of Hadong Medicinal Cuisine Hotel. After they got out of the car, all of them sighed. However, because of the security captain Pang Yong beside them, they were afraid of being laughed at, so they didn't show it. Other than Chong and Lu Feng, there were also Dan Hongning, Kong Zhong, Shan Zi, Dan Jiahao, and Lu Wenyi. These were all names that Su Yun personally picked. Of course, Chong had to bring them all. As long as the original team was there, they would definitely be able to handle all the work in Xinkai Hotel. The elevator is here. Mr. Su and Mr. Ruan are now in the president's office on the 6th floor. Bosses, please. Pang Yong pressed the elevator button. It seemed that he wanted to personally send them upstairs. Dan Jiahao said bluntly, "You go do your work. Security guards have their duties. You can't leave your post without permission. If you leave your post, then you're neglecting your duties. We can go find them ourselves. You don't have to worry about it." "Thank you. Yes. I'll go back to my post now." If it was a normal day, Pang Yong would have been angry if such a kid talked back to him. However, he didn't dare to do so now because these people were Su Yun's people. Pang Yong didn't know why, but he had an inexplicable bad feeling in his heart. He couldn't tell what it was. After watching them get into the elevator and leave, Pang Yong came to a realization. It seemed like Su Yun was determined to deal with the management team of Xinkai Hotel. Could it be that this group of people came to Shenzhen to suppress them? Pang Yong looked at the cars with Zhongbei license plates in front of him. Audi A6, Jeep Wrangler, Land Rover Strider 2, and Audi Q5. Although they were all high-end cars, they were not luxury cars. At least, they could not be compared with the Porsche Cayenne and Jeep Grand Cherokee next to them. Who were these people? Where did they come from? Pang Yong couldn't figure it out no matter how hard he thought about it. However, one thing he was sure of now was that this time, the middle management of the entire Xinkai Hotel would probably have a big change of blood. Fortunately, when he was in the office today, he acted according to the wind and jumped out in time. Otherwise, he was afraid that the consequences would be very serious. Thinking of this, Pang Yong felt a lot better. After all, he was just a security guard. Even if Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang wanted to change Xinkai's personnel, the security department wouldn't be affected. After all, they were just gatekeepers. They didn't participate in any of the hotel's internal management work. There was no need for that. Kid, you did well just now. You are quite clear about the responsibilities of a security guard. It seems that Brother Yun asked you to come here to let you manage the security department well. Ha. Dan Hongning laughed and said to his younger brother, "What do you know? I just gave a little guidance. Brother, don't look down on people. I can guarantee that Brother Yun will definitely not just let me be the security captain when I come to Shenzhen this time. I have matured for so long. He will definitely give me a more awesome position." Dan Jiahao said confidently, "Gold will always shine." Lu Feng was quite satisfied with his future brother-in-law. "That's right, gold will always shine. I really didn't know that you were a fine horse before. Brother Yun is really your talent. When you become successful in the future, you must not forget Brother Yun. Even if I forget my own brother, I will never forget Brother Yun." Dan Jiahao's admiration for Su Yun couldn't be described in a few words. Lv Wenyi and Shanzi smiled at the side but didn't say anything. Kong Zhong gave a thumbs up. "If I had a younger brother like you, I will definitely discuss with my mother directly and ask if I can return the goods. His words caused everyone to burst into laughter, and the elevator soon arrived at the 6th floor. As soon as the elevator door opened, everyone was shocked by Guagua's greeting of welcome. They didn't expect Su Yun and Ruan Qingxuang to personally welcome them at the elevator door. They were really flattered that Guagua, this little ancestor, personally came to be their hostess. The brothers hadn't seen Su Yun for a long time. Their faces were full of excitement, especially Chong. He couldn't control his emotions and gave Su Yun a hug. "How have you been recently?" "It's a lot better. The addiction may not disappear so quickly, but as long as you persist, there will be no problem." Su Yun smiled slightly. Chong knew what he meant. Chong nodded. "Brother, you can rest assured. Even if I choose to die, I will never touch that thing again. A mistake is made once. As long as it can be corrected, it's not a mistake. If I don't change, then I am not worthy to be your brother. It's great that you can have this awareness." Su Yun patted Chong's shoulder. "I will definitely rest assured because I know that my brother is a man of his words. As long as you can say so, you can definitely do it." Ruan Qingxuang saw that it was getting late. She hurriedly greeted everyone. "It must be hard to travel all the way. Let's go and eat. The food is already prepared." "Sister Shuang, when you say that, our stomachs are really a little growling. We only cared about the journey and didn't eat lunch." Dan Hongning smiled. Lu Feng laughed. "You are useless. You want to save your stomach to eat at a 5-star hotel. You have lived for so many years, but you haven't eaten at a 5-star hotel in Xinjiang, right? Brother Yun asked us to come here to broaden our horizons. Eat as much as you want. You don't have to pay the bill." "Haha. I didn't ask you to come here just to eat." Su Yun joked. "In a while, give some suggestions about how to develop the hotel. Whoever can't say anything will pay the bill." Kong Zhong smiled helplessly. "My language has been poor since I was in elementary school. It seems that I have to pay for this meal. Fortunately, I brought enough money. Otherwise, I would have to sell myself to wash dishes to pay my debts." The group of people chatted and laughed as they walked towards the F&B department. Bu Fifen's footsteps were a little hesitant. Seeing so many people chatting and laughing, he felt like an outsider. To be honest, he didn't want to go. It wasn't that he had stage fright, but that he wasn't in the mood to eat with strangers. Just as Bu Fifen was hesitating, Guagua came over and grabbed his arm. "Brother Bu, what are you thinking about?" "Hee, I guess you don't want to eat with us, right?" Bu Fifen nodded. He had nothing to hide in front of Guagua. Although Guagua was much younger than him, compared to others, he still felt that Guagua was his peer. "I don't know them. I can't get a word in when they talk. So, I really don't want to go." "You're afraid that no one will chat with you during the meal, right?" "Don't worry, I'll be there. No one will chat with me. The two of us will chat." Guagua patted her chest and promised Bu Fifen. "I won't let you be alone." Bu Fifen knew that Guagua meant well, so he didn't refuse. He nodded and walked behind the crowd with Guagua. He could see that Guagua had a high status in the eyes of this group of people. She was definitely a treasure, a little ancestor that he couldn't afford to offend. Based on this, he could be sure that these people respected Su Yun. When Lu Mingua, the manager of the F&B department, received a call from Ruan Qingxuang, saying that she had to prepare a sumptuous meal to welcome her friends, he basically did not idle around. Almost every dish was discussed with the chefs in the kitchen. He had to prove his value. Otherwise, he was likely to be fired at any time like Feng Xiaoxia and Gong Shuiyan. As the manager of the F&B department, he needed to sign any purchase of food raw materials. Every year, the small gifts given to him by the suppliers exceeded his annual salary at Xinkai Hotel. Moreover, his home was never short of tasting food, from sea cucumbers to shark fins to tomatoes and carrots. Every day, people would send food to his home. Not only did Lu Minggua's wife not need to go to the supermarket to buy ingredients, but his parents, his mother-in-law, his sister-in-law, and his aunts didn't even need to go to the supermarket to buy ingredients. If he left Xinkai Hotel, he wouldn't be able to become a manager or supervisor directly. These benefits would be gone. What he would lose was not only his annual salary, but the hidden income and benefits would be the biggest loss. This was the reason why he was so careful in preparing this meal. Finally, Lu Minghua ushered in the biggest test of his life. When Ruan Qingshuang and Su Yun came to the F&B department with a group of people, he almost walked on thin ice with every step. "Mr. Su, Mr. Ruan, you are here. Haha, these are our friends from afar, right? Come in, the room is ready, and the temperature of the air conditioner is adjusted to the most comfortable. Please come in. TSK, 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 look at the service." Dan Jiahao couldn't help but praise 32 times. A 5-star hotel in a big city is really different. The service here can't be described as at home. LV Wenny rolled her eyes at Dan Jiahao and scolded with a smile, "If you study well and know more idioms, I don't know how arrogant you will be. Don't talk nonsense. Don't let others laugh at you and embarrass Brother Yun and Sister Shuang." Under Lu Minghua's hospitality, everyone was seated. Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang naturally sat in the main seat and lined up in order. When everyone was seated, a waiter immediately poured tea. Lu Minghua didn't know what wine they wanted to drink, so he could only prepare both red and white wine. He was quite exaggerated. He directly asked the waiter to push the wine cart in, which was densely packed with all kinds of expensive drinks. "Mr. Su, what do you think we should drink?" Lu Minghua asked cautiously. "They are not used to drinking Wuliangye Maotai. You just give me a box of the Confucius family's wine that they all like to drink." Su Yun, because Ruan Qingshuang, Chou Yun, and LV Wenny were there, he asked Lu Minghua to look after them and give them a bottle of red wine. This treatment was so good that Chong and the 3 tigers of Nanqing were about to raise their tails. The feeling of being served is really good. "Brother, you definitely didn't ask us to come this time to let us enjoy. Are you going to let us stay here and serve people?" "Smart." Su Yun said, "After the dishes are served, I will slowly talk to you." Chapter 608. Eating and drinking were secondary. Compared to these luxuries, the 3 tigers of Nanqing wanted to know why Su Yun asked them to come here. They didn't want to be people waiting to die. In the past, they might have thought that it was good to just eat and wait for death, but now it was different. All of Su Yun's actions were stimulating their progress. "Big Brother Yun, hurry up and say it. Don't hide it anymore. We're all dying of anxiety. What can we do here?" Dan Hongning finally couldn't hold it in. "When we heard from Chong that you asked us to come here, we knew that you must be doing something big. Brother, you definitely wouldn't ask us to come to Shenzhen just to eat some delicacies, right?" Su Yun nodded. "Of course. As you can see, this hotel is much bigger than the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel in Hadong, so I need your help. There are many things in the hotel that need to be changed. Perhaps these changes will affect the hotel's efficiency, so I need your help more." Lu Feng surveyed his surroundings. He had never seen such a luxurious VIP room before. "Big Brother Yun, the only person I, Lu Feng, admire in my entire life is you. However, you have truly shocked me. How did you get such a big hotel? This is Shenzhen. You are simply scaring us. A hotel of this level in this part of the city is worth at least a few billion." Su Yun had no objection to Lu Feng's estimation. He shook his head and said, "The hotel is not mine. Don't misunderstand. Sister Shuang and I are here to help a friend. Of course, I asked you to come here to make money. Although this hotel is not mine and Sister Shuang's, I hope you treat it like our own hotel." "Who owns such a big hotel?" Dan Jiahao asked. He really wanted to meet Brother Yun's friend. He was too awesome. Su Yun pointed at Bu Fifan, who was sitting next to Guagua, and said directly, "It's his." Bu Fifan was dumbfounded. In an instant, everyone's eyes were fixed on him, making him feel uncomfortable. Su Yun was too fond of surprise attacks, leaving people completely unprepared. If Guagua had not secretly grabbed Bu Fifan's hand and given him confidence and strength, Bu Fifan would have had the urge to dig a hole in the ground. Him. Everyone exclaimed in unison. It was not that they did not notice this child when they arrived, but after all, Bufifan was only a 13-year-old child. He was not enough to attract everyone's attention. They had always thought that it was the child of one of Su Yun's friends, so they didn't pay much attention to it. Who knew that at such a young age, he was actually the owner of such a big 5-star hotel? Dan Jiahao sucked in a breath of cold air. This guy was 4 or 5 years younger than him. Look at how he mingled. He had mingled with such a big hotel, but he didn't have anything. If Brother Yun hadn't led him to the right path, he probably wouldn't have the savings of more than 100,000 yuan in his bank account. What could 100,000 yuan do in today's society? Today's meal alone cost tens of thousands of yuan. If there were 2 more bottles of Lafite, 100,000 yuan might not even be enough. Brother, you're awesome. I really admire you. Forget it, I don't want to talk about it. I feel too inferior in my heart. Dan Jiahao shook his head, took a sip of wine, and felt depressed. There was always someone better than you. What a difference. Bufifan was also modest. I don't have the ability. The hotel was left to me by Aunt Yi. It's because I don't have the ability to manage it that's why I asked Aunt Shuang to help me. Hearing this, Chong and the 3 tigers of Southern City had subtle psychological changes. Because the hotel did not belong to Su Yun, they more or less felt that something was wrong. Of course, Su Yun could see the subtle psychological changes, but Su Yun did not say anything. He just smiled, hoping to hear Bufifan continue. Now that I've received your help, I'm very grateful. Bufifan said, of course, I also know that you definitely feel that there's no reason to help me. You're all relying on my godfather and Aunt Shuang to help me. Bufifan, thank you all. After that, Bufifan raised his wine glass. I sincerely express my gratitude to all of you. Let's drink first. Bufifan's words not only shocked Chong and the others, but also shocked Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang. Even a monster like Guagua did not expect that Bufifan would suddenly recognize Su Yun as his godfather at this time. One had to know that he had always been calling Su Yun Old Su. Even if he had to admit that Yi Fala had appointed him as his guardian, he had never called him godfather. Su Yun smiled, very satisfied with Bufifan's adaptability. It could be said that Bufifan was very smart. He knew very well who these friends from afar were doing this for. If he did not have such a close relationship with Su Yun, Chong and the others would not have helped him sincerely. They would not have treated this hotel as their own home. Guagua was very happy. She had been prepared to share Su Yun with Bufifan from the beginning. As a little girl without a family, she especially wanted to have more family. In addition, Bufifan also had a tragic childhood like her. Guagua treated Bufifan as her brother from the bottom of her heart. Now that Bufifan had acknowledged Su Yun, she was naturally happy. Actually, Bufifan finished his wine and looked at Su Yun. I prefer to call you Old Su. I think that's more intimate. Su Yun waved his hand indifferently. You can call me whatever you like. I don't care. I'm already very happy that you can acknowledge me as Yi Fala's appointed guardian. Since you've changed your way of addressing me, I have to say something too. Drink less in the future. Bufifan scratched his head embarrassedly and put down his wine glass. We're all family. Your business is our business. Chong also took the lead to express his opinion. Even if you're not Brother Yun's godson, if Brother Yun asks us to do something, we'll definitely do it without hesitation. You drank all the wine just now, so let's drink up too. Under Chong's lead, everyone toasted. Guagua looked at Bufifan with a smile. You've already called Old Su your godfather. Shouldn't you follow me and change the way you address my mother? Bufifan was stunned. He naturally knew who Guagua was referring to. Ruan Qingshuang was embarrassed when she heard that. She hurriedly said, Guagua, you're talking nonsense again. Be good and eat. Can't all the delicious food stop your mouth? Auntie Shuang, Guagua is right. Bufifan said, It's not too much for me to call you mother. It's just that I've always called Auntie Yi, who I'm indebted to, so. I really don't know how to address you. But I'll definitely treat you like my mother, just like how I treat Auntie Yi. Ruan Qingxuang was really satisfied with Bu Fifen's words. She didn't expect that she would have a son and a daughter before even getting married. She even had a son. To be honest, Ruan Qingxuang really couldn't accept such a big boy calling her mother. I still think it's more appropriate for you to call me Auntie Shuang. But I'll definitely treat you like how I treat Guagua. We're all family. Su Yun was very satisfied. He turned to Chong and said, "Tomorrow, I'll arrange for you and little Boo to be the manager's assistant in the administrative office. The manager of the administrative office is called Go Ching Jun. I don't need to say more. You know my purpose. I want little Boo to understand the management of the hotel as soon as possible. You also need to understand everything from Go Ching Jun as soon as possible. Be prepared to let him go at any time." Understood. Chong nodded. He knew that Brother Yun had sent them here for a purpose. "LV Wenny, I haven't seen you in a long time. You've become prettier." Su Yun smiled slightly. "Jiahao treats you well, right?" LV Wenny smiled shyly. "Pretty well. Thank you, Brother Yun, for your concern. I remember that once when I had a meal with your brother, he said that you studied finance. Right now, the position of the hotel's finance director is empty. I hope you can take it tomorrow." Su Yun said, "How about it? It shouldn't be difficult, right?" When Dan Jiahao heard that, he hurriedly said, "Brother Yun, you're letting her take on such an important position." "Don't you worry." "Shut up. It's none of your business. Of course, I trust my own family." Su Yun glared at Dan Jiahao. His gaze was still firmly fixed on LV Wenny. Dan Jiahao obediently shut up. LV Wenny seemed to be infected by Su Yun's encouragement. She nodded with a firm gaze. "Since Brother Yun trusts me, then I promise to complete the task. That's for the best. Let Sister Shuang cooperate with you to understand the hotel's accounts. I believe you can quickly get used to it." Su Yun said, "As long as you're confident, there won't be a problem." "Okay." LV Wenny nodded. At this time, the 3 tigers of Nanqing and Shanxi were ready to be ordered at any time. Su Yun naturally appointed them one by one. Dan Hongning, go to the Human Resources Department tomorrow. Find the Human Resources Manager Gu Yu as an assistant. Lu Feng, go to the Marketing Department and find Yao Shanshan as an assistant. Your task is the same as Chong's. Familiarize yourself with the business as soon as possible and kick them out. Yes. The 2 nodded. Kong Zhong, the housekeeping manager's position is empty right now. I'll leave it to you. Su Yun said, "Recently, there have been a lot of prostitutes coming to the hotel for sex. If you catch them, deal with them as you see fit. As long as you don't make a big deal out of it, you can deal with them however you want. Show them what you're made of. Tell them to get lost. The nationwide anti-prostitution campaign is imperative. I hope Xingkai won't get into trouble when the time comes. We have to prepare for a rainy day." Kong Zhong nodded. "No problem. I'll definitely complete the task. Shanxi, what do you think of today's meal?" Su Yun smiled slightly and said to Shanxi, "You're also the head chef of our Hadong Medicinal Cuisine Hotel. Give some comments." "This chef is definitely at the level of a master, but it's too extravagant. The country has always advocated frugality." Shanxi said, "I feel that the nutritional value of these things is not as high as medicinal cuisine, but the price is really not cheap." Su Yun said, "Now, all the star hotels use these delicacies as the cornerstone of their stores. So, I want something special. Starting tomorrow, you'll be in the F&B department. You'll work with Lu Minghua. At the same time, promote the medicinal cuisine as the specialty of Xingkai Hotel and distinguish it from the other hotels. As long as our medicinal cuisine is delicious, I believe that we'll definitely stand out among the other high-end hotels with delicacies." Shanxi grinned. "That's definitely not a problem." Dan Jiahao finally couldn't sit still. "Brother Yun, Everyone has their jobs. What about me? What do I do? Don't tell me I'll be the driver? Of course you have a job too. From now on, you'll be the manager of the hotel's logistics department. You'll be in charge of all the logistics and security work. You'll start tomorrow. Su Yun said, "All right, remember to arrange for Pang Yong of the security team to be on the night shift for a few more days." "I'm relieved to leave it to you." Dan Jiahao's face finally revealed a smile. He was also a manager. Chapter 609. After arranging everything, Su Yun set off for Shinkai Hotel again. When he drove to the entrance of the hotel, he saw a familiar yet unfamiliar figure. To be honest, Su Yun really didn't think that this guy would dare to appear in front of him again. One had to know that Su Yun had almost killed him because of the loss of his brother during that mission. It was also after that incident that this guy never dared to appear in front of Su Yun again. Now that he was able to stand in front of Su Yun again, he must have mustered up a lot of courage, and he also used what happened to Guagua yesterday to prove that he was definitely not a charlatan. Gu Zueran, known as the Oracle, knew everything from astronomy to geography, and could predict all kinds of possible events and dangers through the stars. All along, Su Yun had a good relationship with him, because Gu Zueran was also the junior of Zhang Taisui and Wang Yi. Because Gu Zueran was older than Su Yun by more than 10 years. For many years, Su Yun called him brother. He also helped Su Yun predict many times. But it was that mission that Gu Zueran predicted would go smoothly, but because of the betrayal of the higher-ups of the police, Su Yun's Dragon Fury team lost Yin Long during the mission. Su Yun, who had nowhere to vent his anger, naturally burned his anger on Gu Zueran, saying that he was full of nonsense. Since it would go smoothly, why would he lose Yin Long? And he even tried to kill Gu Zueran. Fortunately, he was stopped in time, otherwise Gu Zueran would be playing chess with the King of Hell right now. After that incident, Gu Zueran never appeared in front of Su Yun again. He was originally a wanderer, and this time he appeared in front of Su Yun to prove to Su Yun that Yin Long's death had nothing to do with him, and that he definitely didn't talk nonsense that time. "Why are you here?" Su Yun said indifferently. "The smog is so bad now, you can't see any stars, so you might as well stop fortune-telling and change your profession." After a long time, Su Yun's hatred for Gu Zueran was gone, and he knew very well that he had no reason to hate Gu Zueran. Gu Zueran couldn't predict that Yin Long's death in that mission had nothing to do with him. Gu Zueran saw that Su Yun was still so indifferent, and his expression was quite helpless. "Looks like I didn't ask Lin Gu to remind you for nothing, you still rush back to Shenjiang in time to solve the problem. Don't flatter yourself. I didn't come back to Shenjiang because of you, but because I was about to come back at this time, and not because of the bullshit words you asked Lin Gu to pass on to me." Su Yun obviously wouldn't admit that Gu Zueran predicted that Shenjiang would be in danger because of his face. Gu Zueran didn't argue with Su Yun, and only smiled faintly. "It's good that you came back, I didn't expect you to appreciate it. It's good that I know. At the time, I knew that you wouldn't fall forever because of that one thing. Stars will rise one day, and you will achieve great things one day, all of this is fated. Don't say this to me, I don't believe in fate. Ever since that incident, I don't believe in bullshit fate. Su Yun, I don't believe that Yin Long's death was fated, and that it happened because of my carelessness. Don't try to teach me bullshit fate. I only believe that people can conquer the heavens." Gu Zueran nodded. "That's right, fate is fixed, but people have the power to change it, I admit this." "Since you admit it, then why did you come here to find me? What do you want to prove to me?" "If you want to prove that you predicted that Shenjiang would be in trouble and needed me to come back to resolve it, then fine, you win. You've already proven it. Do you still need me to applaud you?" "Su Yun, if that's the case, I can satisfy you. I'm not here to prove anything, I just feel like I owe you, I know it's time to help you," Gu Zueran said. Su Yun snorted. "Unfortunately, I don't need you to help me. I'll walk my own path." "Su Yun, for so many years, I've respected Zhang Taisui like a father, and I've treated you like a brother." Gu Zueran said, "Although we're not close, I promised Zhang Taisui that no matter what, when you're in trouble, I'll stand up and help you. I'll do what I promised Zhang Tai-sui, whether you understand or not. Then what do you want? Su Yun, you promised, but I didn't say I needed it. Gu Zueran stopped arguing. I'll leave after saying a few words, believe me, you need to know. If you have something to say, then say it, I don't have time to waste with you. Su Yun, also, say what you want, it's my business whether I listen or not, don't talk nonsense with me. Su Yun's indifference seemed to irritate Gu Zueran. He didn't expect his kindness to be treated like this. Fine, I won't ask for your forgiveness. I just want to tell you that it's not time for you to face the threat from Southeast Asia in Xinjiang, but the threat in Qingdao is already in front of you. If you don't want to lose the important people around you, don't be shy. The woman who loves you needs you, otherwise, her state of mind will not be able to break through the bottleneck and support the progress of cultivation, and she will die. Whether that white-lipped bamboo snake lives or dies, it's up to you. Su Yun's mind went blank. Gu Zueran did have some skills. No matter how Su Yun denied it, it couldn't be changed. I've said it very clearly. I can't figure out who needs your help. But I think you already know it in your heart at this moment. Gu Zueran said, that's all I can help you with. I just don't want you to fall to the bottom of your life because of losing your loved ones. I know you're still disgusted with me because of what happened to the silver dragon, and I know you'll never forgive me. But I've done what I should do, so I have a clear conscience. After saying this, Gu Zueran's figure directly disappeared into the night. He didn't expect to get Su Yun's forgiveness, nor did he expect Su Yun to give him a hug and call him elder brother. Su Yun didn't come back to his senses for a long time. Gu Zueran's words made Su Yun's heart full of waves. He knew that the threat from Southeast Asia Gu Zueran mentioned was Lang Chen on Pluto Island. And the person he needed to save on Qingdao Island was Hua Meiyan. Gu Zueran revealed so many secrets of heaven to him. Wasn't he afraid of being punished by heaven? Su Yun didn't know that Gu Zueran was a real fortune-teller. Every time he revealed secrets of heaven, he would be punished accordingly. Even Gu Zueran himself had said that he would never calculate again, because he knew that if he revealed secrets of heaven again, he would soon be punished by heaven. But now Gu Zueran had said so much to Su Yun. He couldn't possibly be risking the threat of heaven's punishment just to prove himself. Gu Zueran did this because he wanted to fulfill his promise to Zhang Tai-sui. He wanted to be responsible to this little brother of his who they didn't interact much but felt like old friends at first sight. Elder brother. Thank you. Su Yun finally said these words when Gu Zueran's figure completely disappeared. He didn't know if he would have a chance to see Gu Zueran again, but he swore that if he saw him again, he wouldn't say those hurtful words again. He would definitely call him elder brother, drink a cup of wine with him, and play a game of chess. Gu Zueran, who had walked far away, suddenly stopped. He looked up at the misty night sky. Two rays of starlight crossed each other. A rare smile appeared on Gu Zueran's face. He didn't ask for anything. As long as Su Yun could forgive him and understand his good intentions, he was satisfied. Old man Zhang, I will definitely do what I promised you. I will protect that kid until the last moment. Gu Zueran looked at the sky and muttered to himself, but I'm afraid that I don't have much time left. Haha, actually, after living for nearly 50 years, I really don't have any regrets. Set up the chessboard and wait for me. Haha, when I come find you, let's have a good game of chess. Returning to the hotel room, Su Yun's heart was filled with self-blame. There were some words that he didn't know how to say. It was very uncomfortable to keep them bottled up in his heart. Ruan Qingshuang seemed to see that something wasn't right with Su Yun. She asked in a low voice, "Did something happen? Weren't you fine just now?" Su Yun smiled and shook his head. "Nothing, I just feel that I've been too tired recently. I haven't had time to accompany you and Guagua. I feel very sorry for you too. If you don't want to say it, I won't force you." Ruan Qingshuang could see that Su Yun's smile was forced. He was avoiding her question. "If you're tired, go take a hot bath. I'll give you a massage later. I learned a few things from the Chinese medicine master in the hotel's massage club." "Really?" Su Yun didn't want Ruan Qingxuang to worry. He quickly put away his sadness. Then I'll do as you say. Well, the jacuzzi in the bathroom is so big. It's too wasteful for me to take a bath alone. Why don't we go together? Ruan Qingxuang blushed. She pretended to be angry and said, What nonsense are you talking about? Hurry up and take a bath. I'll prepare a change of clothes for you. Really, there's a child next door. How can you talk so casually? As Ruan Qingxuang spoke, she went to find a change of clothes for Su Yun. However, her heart was beating wildly. She was imagining what if the two of them were really in the bathtub together. Just as she started to think, Ruan Qingxuang blushed. She screamed and ran away quickly. It was too embarrassing. Just thinking about it made her heart beat faster and her face blush. Because the change of clothes brought by Su Yun was in the other room, when Ruan Qingxuang came to take the clothes, Guagua saw Ruan Qingxuang's red face at a glance. She immediately ran to Ruan Qingxuang curiously and asked with a smile, Mom, did my dad say something sweet to you? Why is your face so red? Ruan Qingxuang glared at Guagua and left with the clothes. She didn't dare to say anything. However, when Guagua saw Ruan Qingxuang take away Su Yun's clothes, she suddenly understood and nodded. She said to herself, So they want to take a bath together. Bu Fifan happened to be playing in Guagua's room. When he heard that, his eyes widened and he exclaimed, No way, old Su is quite romantic. When I first met him, I thought he was very serious. Chapter 610. Fortunately, Ruan Qingxuang left in time. Otherwise, she would have been embarrassed by the conversation between the two little guys. Guagua began to talk about the secrets between the two of them. Bu Fifan listened attentively, starting from how Su Yun saved the damsel in distress. He listened to Guagua carefully. After Ruan Qingxuang returned to her room with Su Yun's clothes, she suddenly realized that something was wrong. Because she knew that Chong and the others were coming, Ruan Qingxuang didn't notice it. Only now did she realize that the rooms prepared by the housekeeping department were a little ambiguous. Cho Yun and Guagua would share a standard double bedroom, and the single room next to theirs was prepared for Bu Fifan. Apart from that, there was also the double-bed luxurious standard double bedroom that Su Yun was in. Could it be that the housekeeping department deliberately arranged it when they arranged the rooms? It was obvious that they wanted her to share a room with Su Yun. When Ruan Qingxuang figured it out, it was too late. It was hard to ask for a room from the housekeeping department now. Besides, it was the end of the year, and almost all the rooms were reserved. Even if there was a vacant room, it was reserved for guests. She couldn't just go and stay there. It seemed that she had to discuss with Bu Fifan about changing rooms. After putting down Su Yun's clothes, she quickly returned. Bu Fifan was still listening to Guagua and hadn't left yet. Little Bu, can I discuss something with you? Ruan Qingxuang smiled and said, Although it's a little sudden, I think you can understand. If it's possible, can you let me stay in your room? You can share a room with Su Yun. That way, the two of you can chat and improve your relationship. What do you think? When Bu Fifan heard this, he immediately perked up. Of course, this was great. He was naturally willing to share a room with Su Yun. This was definitely not a problem. If he could talk more with Su Yun in the evening, he might even learn some special secrets. After all, he was now full of mystery towards Su Yun because of Kevin Matthews' goodwill towards Su Yun. Just as Bu Fifan was about to agree, Guagua suddenly reached out and pinched Bu Fifan's back. This little guy's action was as subtle as it could be. Other than Bu Fifan's twisted expression, absolutely no one could tell that something was wrong. After being pinched, Bu Fifan immediately understood what Guagua meant. He made a prompt decision and refused Ruan Qingxuang. I'm sorry, Aunt Shuang. I'm used to sleeping alone. If there's someone next to me, I won't be able to sleep. Ruan Qingxuang's expression became awkward. She probed, Then don't you have a lot to talk about with Su Yun? I do, but after all, it's time to sleep. I'll talk during the day when I have time. Bu Fifan's answer made Guagua very satisfied. He also let out a sigh of relief. He had to admit that this little sister of his was much more cunning than he was. Under Guagua's gaze, Bu Fifan yawned and said, "I'm really tired today. I'll go back and rest first. Aunt Shuang, Guagua, you should rest early too." After saying that, Bu Fifan opened the door and ran out before RuanQingshuang could say anything. RuanQingshuang shook her head helplessly and glanced at Guagua. Cho Yun, who had gone to the gym to work out, hadn't returned yet. Besides, she couldn't ask Cho Yun to sleep in the same bed as Su Yun. Thinking of this, she could only put her hopes on Guagua. Guagua's answer was even simpler. She kicked off her shoes and climbed into the bed. Of course, RuanQingshuang knew what this little brat was thinking. She didn't ask her any more. It didn't matter. Wasn't it just sleeping in the same bed as Su Yun? It wasn't like she hadn't done it before. Moreover, since she was already prepared to be Su Yun's woman at any time, there was nothing to be shy about. What was to come would come, sooner or later. When RuanQingshuang came back again, Su Yun had already finished showering and came out of the bathroom. Under his wet hair, the corners of his muscular body were clearly defined. The perfect curves of his muscles were undoubtedly lethal to a woman. At least, RuanQingshuang didn't know what to do at this moment. Well, today's room. There was a mistake in the arrangement. Let's make do with this room for the night first. RuanQingshuang said incoherently. She looked to the side in a trance. Su Yun's waist was wrapped in a bath towel. He picked up the clothes that RuanQingshuang prepared for him and smiled. This is called making do. The luxurious standard room of a 5-star hotel is really not making do at all. Now there are many meetings at the end of the year and many business trips. It's good enough to have a room for us. You go take a bath. I've just prepared the water for you. RuanQingshuang was touched by Su Yun's naturalness. She put down the worry in her heart and took a deep breath. She tried to be generous. She nodded and went to the bathroom to take a bath without saying anything. It was already a great blessing for RuanQingshuang that Su Yun could personally prepare the bathwater for her. Maybe it was because of excitement, or maybe it was because of embarrassment. In short, RuanQingshuang suddenly thought of a problem the moment she lay in the jacuzzi. She just came in to take a bath and forgot to bring in the clean clothes she wanted to change into. This was too embarrassing. Her clothes were still in Guagua and Cho Yun's room. She didn't bring her phone. She didn't know how to tell Su Yun. Forget it. She could just go out with a bath towel wrapped around her body like Su Yun. Anyway, she was going to sleep at night. Tomorrow morning, she would ask Su Yun to tell Guagua to send her clothes over. After relaxing, RuanQingshuang took a comfortable bath. I just hope that you can spend more time with Guagua during the holidays. She needs you more than I do. Then I'll take her to Qingdao tomorrow to see the sea, feel the wind, and relax, Su Yun said. With Chong and the others helping you with Xingkai Hotel, I'll be more at ease. RuanQingshuang nodded. She looked quite happy. It'll be great if you can take Guagua to relax. You know, I've always been worried about one thing, and that's the new year. This is the first year that Guagua lost her only relative, her grandfather. The new year represents a very important reunion for us Hua Xia people. I'm afraid that Guagua will feel uncomfortable. After all, she's still young. In fact, Su Yun also thought of this problem. Now that RuanQingshuang said it, it was easier for him to say without thinking. Guagua at least has Cho Yun to accompany her. We'll accompany her. On the contrary, I'm more worried about you. You also have a family. When RuanQingshuang heard Su Yun's words, she immediately fell silent. Her family might not be her family anymore. When she resolutely left that year, she completely cut off her relationship with her family. For the sake of that damn marriage contract, for the so-called material things, she couldn't accept her family's arrangement at all. For RuanQingshuang, her family was both lovable and detestable. She didn't know how to face them. This wasn't the first year that she left home. She had tasted the bitterness before, so she didn't want Guagua to be like her. Now, RuanQingshuang had already thrown away the shackles on her heart. When when I begged, my family never treated me as a family member. They only treated me as a commodity, a bargaining chip in exchange for material things. At that moment, I lost my family. Although I missed them all these years, this might be the reason for distance. Only distance can produce longing. And when we're really together, they can always give me pain. Other than pain, everything else is pain. Su Yun knew that his words touched Ruan Qingxuang's fragile heart. He said lightly, "I'm sorry. Don't think so much. It's late. Go to sleep. Tomorrow is Chong's first day of work. You still have to introduce them to the managers of the various departments. And good night." Ruan Qingxuang nodded. At this moment, Su Yun suddenly reached out and hugged her. This gentleness made Ruan Qingxuang quickly erase all the unpleasant memories. Su Yun only wanted to let her know that in this world, even if she lost everything, she still had him, Guagua, and these family members here. Chapter 6:11. In the morning, when Ruan Qingxuang opened her eyes, she found that Su Yun was no longer in the room. Her clothes were neatly folded next to the pillow. Although she had mentally prepared herself, Ruan Qingxuang couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. She quickly put on her clothes and left the room. Then she heard Su Yun's hearty laughter and Guagua's excited screams from the next room. Of course, Guagua couldn't suppress the excitement in her heart, because Su Yun was going to take her to Qingdao to see the sea. There were many places with seas in Huaxia, but Qingdao was different. Perhaps the sea there was not the most famous, not the cleanest, and not the most beautiful, but it had hosted the Olympic Games together with Yanjing. What other cities had on the seaside, they had all, but the Olympic Sailing Center on the seaside here was not available in other cities. The reason why Zhang Taisui was so determined to build his film and television empire on Qingdao was probably because of the city's international influence. Dalian was cleaner than Qingdao, Sanya was prettier than Qingdao, and there were other seaside cities that were richer than Qingdao. However, Qingdao's international influence was greater than that of those cities. Logically speaking, this project was supposed to start after Su Yun took over. This was Zhang Taisui's last wish. However, Zhua Meiyan was still trying her best to help Su Yun deal with the important matters of Sky Entertainment Group. It wasn't that Zhua Meiyan didn't want to give up her power, but she really didn't want to see Su Yun worry and tire himself out. She wanted to help Su Yun do everything well so that he could easily take over Sky Entertainment Group without any worries or worries. Only then could Zhua Meiyan feel that she was worthy of Zhang Taisui's trust. It wasn't that Su Yun didn't understand this simple logic. There were many reasons why he didn't take over Sky Entertainment Group. It wasn't because he wasn't interested in the company, but because he was afraid that once he took over, Zhua Meiyan's spiritual sustenance would disappear. The person Zhua Meiyan respected the most in her life was Zhang Taisui. Because of him, she was able to focus on Sky Entertainment Group and not think about other things. If she suddenly lost her spiritual sustenance, she would definitely think about things that Su Yun didn't want her to think about. Zhua Meiyan's blood feud wasn't that simple. Su Yun really didn't want her to hate someone she couldn't take revenge for now. Su Yun hoped that Zhua Meiyan could walk out of that shadow as soon as possible. After all, her family's enemy wasn't someone they could touch with right now. The reason Su Yun didn't want to take over Sky Entertainment Group was because he wanted to let Zhua Meiyan's attention be distracted by the company's complicated matters. He wanted her to gradually forget about the hatred in her heart. Of course, Su Yun would get justice for what happened to her sooner or later, but not now. After all, the enemy was too strong. Even a grandmaster like Wang Yi didn't have a chance of winning against him. When Guagua heard the news, her heart immediately flew to Qingdao. When she saw Ruan Qingxuang push open the door and enter, Guagua's face revealed a sly smile. "Mom, did you sleep well last night?" "Hee, Guagua went to deliver your clothes this morning. I saw your thighs exposed." Ruan Qingxuang's face turned red. She glared at Guagua and said, "You didn't want to change rooms with me last night. I've doted on you for nothing." Guagua pretended to be wronged and said, "It's because Mom treats Guagua too well that Guagua didn't want to change rooms with you. I'm doing this for your own good. Hee, I'm going to tell Brother Bu some good news." Bu Fifan, who had already gotten up and walked out of his room, heard Guagua's excited voice from the corridor. He directly pushed open the door and asked, "What good news? Look at how excited you are. Did you win the lottery?" "This is even more exciting than winning the lottery," Guagua said proudly. "Dad wants to take me to Qingdao to relax." "Ha ha. Ha." Guagua's laughter suddenly changed. She suddenly realized that if Su Yun only took her, Bu Fifan would lose face and feel very disappointed. However, Su Yun didn't say that he would take Bu Fifan with him. Guagua felt that her rash announcement wasn't very righteous. However, after hearing the news, Bu Fifan's reaction was much calmer than Guagua imagined. "Qingdao? It's a good place. It's very good. There are all kinds of seafood and all kinds of beer on Beer Street. Many places don't drink beer in winter, but Qingdao is different. Many Qingdao people say that if you don't drink beer in winter, you're not from Qingdao." "You've been there?" Guagua heaved a sigh of relief. If Bu Fifan had been to Qingdao, then this matter would be much easier to handle. At least he wouldn't be so disappointed. However, Bu Fifan shook his head to Guagua's surprise. "I've never been there. I've only heard about it." "Ha, Guagua, when you go, you must eat spicy fried clams, raw oysters, and grilled starfish. I heard that they are all very delicious. I wish you all a good time." Guagua didn't know what to say. Her flaunting seemed so useless at this moment. Although she didn't see any disappointment on Bu Fifan's face, Guagua still sensed the disappointment hidden deep in Bu Fifan's heart when he said, "Have a good time," with her sixth sense as a child. Su Yun finally said, "What do you mean by wishing us all a good time? It's not like you don't want to go with us." His calm words stirred up waves in the depths of Bu Fifan's heart. However, a boy's boring self-esteem forced him to suppress the ecstasy in his heart. He pretended to be calm and said, "I'm going to? But don't I still need to learn about hotel management?" Guagua didn't hesitate to give her little brother a way out. "There are many opportunities to learn about hotel management, but this is your only chance to go to Qingdao. Little brother Bu, I know you are a person who loves to learn, but Guagua still hopes that you can go with me." Bu Fifan scratched his head and said with a silly smile, "Haha, then I'll accept your invitation." To be honest, Su Yun didn't plan to take Bu Fifan to Qingdao at first. He had high expectations for Bu Fifan. He hoped that he could master the knowledge of hotel management as soon as possible. However, now that he thought about it, Su Yun seemed to be in a hurry. No matter what, Bu Fifan was only a 13-year-old child. He might be more mature than his peers, but it didn't mean that he had to do things that were more difficult than his peers. This was a good opportunity for Guagua to relax, but it was also a good opportunity for Bu Fifan. He also wanted to spend his first year without Yi Fala's company. Thinking of Yi Fala, Su Yun could only hope that she would be released in advance with her best performance. Because of the clues she gave, the Shenzhen police uncovered a drug trafficking network that covered a large area. This could also be said to be Yi Fala's credit. People always made mistakes, but if she knew how to correct her mistakes, why not give her a chance? "You guys must have fun there. Guagua, remember to listen to your dad. Don't bully your big brother Bu." Ruan Qingshuang also wanted to go, but she knew that Su Yun didn't go to Shenzhen to relax. If Guagua and Bu Fifan went, Cho Yun would take care of them. If she went, she would definitely distract Su Yun. Moreover, the hotel was undergoing a major overhaul. She really couldn't leave. Guagua immediately made a military order, "Mom, don't worry about me taking care of things. This is a must. I will definitely take good care of Big Brother Bu. If he doesn't listen to Dad, I will definitely help Dad look after him." Bu Fifan was speechless. She was clearly talking about him, right? Why did she suddenly change the topic to him? Phew, even if I don't want to be obedient, I need to have the ability to do so. With Su Yun by his side, how could he, Bu Fifan, be disobedient? Even his master, Kevin Matthew, was somewhat respectful of Su Yun, let alone Bu Fifan. "Cho Yun, I'll leave them to you." Ruan Qingshuang looked at Cho Yun. Ever since the two of them had a heart-to-heart talk on the balcony, Their relationship had become much closer. Cho Yun smiled and shook her head. This time, I won't go with them. I'll stay and help you. I already told Su Yun that you need help the most right now. Because Chong and the others are all here, Su Yun isn't. Moreover, it's already the end of the year. He's worried that the middle management will come up with some tricks while he's away. He wants me to stay and help you. You're not going? Then what about Guagua? Who will look after Guagua? Ruan Qingxuang couldn't help but ask in surprise. Su Yun patted his chest. You don't have to worry about that. As long as we reach Qingdao, I promise to find a team of bodyguards to look after Guagua and Little Boo at all times. You're right to listen to me. I have my reasons for letting Cho Yun stay. Don't worry, nothing will happen to these two children if they follow me. Ruan Qingxuang didn't doubt that Guagua and Bu Fifan would be fine with Su Yun. What surprised her was that Cho Yun could actually let go of Guagua. Ruan Qingxuang couldn't believe it for a moment. Of course, all of this was thanks to Su Yun. Before dawn today, Su Yun woke Cho Yun up to discuss this matter with her. Su Yun felt that if Cho Yun always followed Guagua, it would make Guagua worry a lot. It would make her feel that she wasn't an ordinary child and that danger might appear at any time around her. If it went on like this, Guagua's mentality would become a habit. She would habitually feel insecure. Although Guagua certainly wouldn't show it on the surface, it was absolutely inevitable. Now, it was time to try to let go. When there was someone by Guagua's side to ensure her safety, Su Yun hoped that Cho Yun could give Guagua enough space to let her forget that she wasn't ordinary. He wanted her to stop feeling that there was danger around her. Cho Yun agreed with Su Yun's words. She seemed to have realized that she often made Guagua feel that Guagua felt when she was by Guagua's side. Guagua was still young. If this kind of insecure mentality became fixed, it would be difficult for her to trust and interact with anyone when she grew up. Therefore, Cho Yun was willing to believe Su Yun and listen to Su Yun. She wanted to take advantage of the opportunity when Guagua made her first close friend, Bu Fifan, to give Guagua enough personal space. She wanted to be able to go through this trip without any worries. Therefore, Cho Yun decided to stay in Shenzhen to help Ruan Qingxuang manage the hotel. Chapter 612. Ruan Qingxuang quickly packed the luggage for Guagua and Bu Fifan, and reminded them again and again. It seemed that every mother would do this. There was an old saying in Huaxia that went, "When a son travels 1,000 miles, his mother worries about him." Although Ruan Qingxuang was not the biological mother of these two children, she treated them like her own children. That kind of deep maternal love touched the softest part of Guagua and Bu Fifan's hearts. For the children of ordinary families, maternal love was the most common thing, because they were surrounded by maternal love every day. For them, maternal love was even a kind of nagging that they hated and disliked. If they could really experience the feeling of children without maternal love, perhaps they would not be so unappreciative anymore. Guagua and Bu Fifan enjoyed this maternal love and Ruan Qingxuang's tireless reminders over and over again. Be careful when you cross the road, be careful when you go to the seaside, eat in a hygienic place, drink more water, wear a hat when you go out, the sea breeze is too cold. The reminders and reminders over and over again became a warm memory that Guagua and Bu Fifan could never forget in their hearts. Neither of them impatiently said, "Got it." Guagua promised again and again that she would be obedient, and Bu Fifan nodded again and again to accept Ruan Qingxuang's instructions. At this moment, they did not even have the sense of urgency to set off. Instead, they hoped that they could stay a little longer. Before Su Yun set off with the two children, Chong and the others came to the hotel one after another. After all, it was their first day working in Xingkai Hotel. They were excited and couldn't sleep, so naturally, they woke up early. Knowing that Su Yun was going to take Guagua and Bu Fifan out for sightseeing, Dan Jiahao was very envious. He really wished that he was 5 or 6 years younger, then maybe he would also take him to Qingdao to see the Olympic Sailing Center. "Brother, when will you take us out for sightseeing?" "Don't worry, there will definitely be opportunities." Lu Feng said, "Do you really think Brother Yun has the time to play?" While President Tang of the Tang Group is building the Hadong Artificial River Commercial Street, he has also taken over the Sky Entertainment Group's project to build a movie and television plaza in Qingdao. Brother Yun will definitely go and take a look at the project. At the same time, he will let Guagua and President Bu have some fun. You just stay in the hotel and take care of your logistics. Su Yun smiled. That's right. Everyone will have a chance in the future. When the hotel is running normally, the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza should be almost completed. At that time, I will let you all be guests and let you sit in the chairs, watching those domestic and even international A-listers walk the red carpet and bow to you. Chong slapped his thigh. Just the thought of it made him feel good. Brother, I know you've always been a man of your word. I'm really looking forward to that day. Don't worry, it won't be long. Guagua said like a little adult, then we'll leave the hotel to you. I hope that by the time we come back, the hotel will have changed a lot. I, Brother Bu, don't want to see those people again. Because they knew that Bu Fifan was Su Yun's godson and the real owner of the hotel, everyone was very respectful to him. Dan Hongning patted his chest and promised, rest assured, President Bu. Those people you don't want to see, we won't let a single one of them go. As long as we catch the slightest mistake, we will make them leave immediately. Bu Fifan was embarrassed by the way they addressed him. He waved his hand and said, you can just call me by my name. All right, I won't argue with you anymore. It's getting late. Let Sister Shuang take you to see the managers of the various departments. Su Yun said, we're leaving. When we come back, we'll definitely bring you gifts. Everyone lined up in a row and watched as Su Yun drove off in the wide Jeep Grand Cherokee. Guagua and Bu Fifan were chatting excitedly in the back seat. Bu Fifan told Guagua everything he heard about Qingdao, whether it was fun or delicious. Guagua became more and more excited as she listened. She wished she could grow a pair of wings and fly there right now. Su Yun drove at 180 miles per hour on the highway. Guagua complained that it was too slow. She kept blaming Su Yun for not having the ability to teleport. Su Yun was confused. He really wanted to ask Guagua if she thought he was filming You from the Stars, and treated him like a professor. Oh right, old Su, why did you go to Qingdao's movie plaza? Isn't that what Sky Entertainment Group wanted to build many years ago? What's your relationship with Sky Entertainment Group? Bu Fifan suddenly thought of this question. He just realized that Su Yun wasn't an ordinary person. Since Sky Entertainment Group held their annual meeting at Xingkai Hotel at the end of every year, Yi Fala naturally knew about the white-lipped bamboo leaf Qing's Wamayan. Bu Fifan had also heard about her from Yi Fala a few times. It was said that this woman wasn't ordinary. She was the last disciple of the legendary Zhang Taisui. Su Yun thought for a while but didn't know how to explain. Guagua didn't hold back at all. Sky Entertainment Group is my father's. My father just doesn't want to take it over now. Pfft. Bu Fifan almost coughed up blood. Holy *T, this news was too explosive. Sky Entertainment Group is old Su's? Was this AF King fantasy or was he dreaming? Although Bu Fifan and Guagua hadn't known each other for long, he knew his little sister very well. Guagua wouldn't speak carelessly or make things up. Most importantly, Guagua wasn't bragging or joking when she said this. Her face was full of calmness, as if she was just narrating a very ordinary matter. Guagua, you have to keep a low profile. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. Guagua stuck out her tongue and muttered to herself, I'm not showing off to outsiders. I'm just telling my own people. In any case, Brother Bu will find out sooner or later that you're his godfather. Why are you hiding so much from your own godson? Aren't you afraid of scaring him in the future? Bu Fifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm already scared, old Su. When I first met you, I looked down on you. After that day, I became curious about you. Now, I'm starting to admire you. What kind of person are you? How many more things do you have that make my jaw drop? You're thinking too much. Sky Entertainment Group wasn't built by me alone. It's just like how you own Xing Kai Hotel. Yi Fala left it to you, but you couldn't manage it yourself, so Yi Fala asked me for help. Su Yun, Sky Entertainment Group belongs to me, just like how Xing Kai Hotel belongs to you. Bu Fifan was even more shocked. He stood up excitedly and hit his head on the roof of the car before sitting down again. His eyes were full of admiration and surprise. Old Su, you're saying that Sky Entertainment Group was left to you by Zhang Taisui. You know Zhang Taisui? That legendary big shot in the underground world? Damn, do you have to be so excited? Su Yun glanced at Bu Fifan through the rearview mirror and tried to speak as calmly as possible. I know him. His relationship with me is just like my relationship with you. Damn. Bu Fifan stood up excitedly again and was hit on the head again. Damn, no way. Zhang Taisui is your godfather. That means he's my godfather. Guagua motioned for Bu Fifan to calm down. That's right, that's right. Not only is he your godfather, but he's also my godfather. Su Yun really didn't understand how an old man who was already buried could make Bu Fifan so shocked. Bu Fifan's interest in Zhang Taisui wasn't just a little bit. It was very, very deep. Bu Fifan nodded in realization. Old Su, no wonder you're so mysterious. No wonder even my master Matthew is so curious about you. I didn't know you had such a legendary story. I finally know why you know about the Hunter School. My godfather is such a powerful person. He definitely wouldn't want his godson to be a rookie. That's why he sent you to the Hunter School, right? Su Yun really wanted to hit his head on the steering wheel. This guy's imagination was too rich. It seemed like Bu Fifan was very interested in the Hunter School that Su Yun mentioned the other day. Wait a minute. Su Yun had a bad feeling. He glanced at Bu Fifan through the rearview mirror again and said to him very seriously, There's no such thing as a Hunter School. I was just talking nonsense that day. Don't think too much about it. This is a society that relies on brains. It's enough to have brains. The underground world and martial arts are useless. Bu Fifan nodded and agreed. However, it was obvious that he didn't agree with Su Yun's words at all. He felt that it was impossible for a person to survive in this society without some skills. If one wanted to become a big shot, it wasn't enough to just have brains. One had to be both smart and brave. Since ancient times, those who had achieved great things all had both brains and brawn. Su Yun, for example, was Bu Fifan's target. He had both brains and brawn. Only then would he be able to make a name for himself in this society. Guagua, didn't you say you wanted to eat some sea chowder? You can ask Brother Bu if he's heard of any good places. Su Yun quickly passed the topic to Guagua, asking her to divert Bu Fifan's attention. The Hunter School was too attractive for Bu Fifan, but Su Yun didn't want him to go there. Guagua immediately understood what Su Yun was trying to say. She immediately grabbed Bu Fifan's arm and said, That's right, where's the most authentic seafood chowder? Luckily, Guagua was here, so Bu Fifan was able to patiently chat with Guagua about which street had the most famous seafood chowder, which street's seafood stir-fry was better, and which street's fresh draft beer was fresher and had a better taste. Even though Bu Fifan had never been to Qingdao, he knew quite a lot about it. He had to thank his friends in school for that. His friend's family was involved in the deep-sea seafood business on Qingdao. Su Yun was relieved that he had brought Bu Fifan along. Otherwise, he was worried that Bu Fifan would overthink things if he was left alone in Shenzhen. It would be troublesome if something happened to him. Hopefully, Bu Fifan would be able to forget about the stories about the strong underworld and the stories about how he became a legend in the Hunter School. He did not want Bu Fifan to go through the inhumane training and torture. If something happened to him, Su Yun would not be able to explain it to Yi Fala. After all, Yi Fala had asked him to do it. If Su Yun had agreed to it, there was no reason for him not to do it. Chapter 613. The moment the car drove into Qingdao, Guagua, who had been tired from sitting in the car, was suddenly energized. She rolled down the window and kept looking at the scenery outside. After getting off the highway, there was a coastal avenue. The sea breeze made the air in the city particularly fresh. Although there was some astringent smell of the sea, Guagua still took deep breaths. Bu Fifan had a good impression of Guqin Island for a long time. Today, he finally arrived at the place of his dreams. He quickly took out his phone and dialed his school friend's number. Wang Yu, I'm at Guqin Island. Wang Yu was one of Bu Fifan's few close friends in school. He had just returned to Qingdao during the winter break and was bored to death. He did not expect Bu Fifan to call him. He was so excited that he insisted on holding a welcome dinner for Bu Fifan and asked where he was. Su Yun didn't want to reject the kid's kindness. Although he refused Bu Fifan to meet his friend privately, he agreed to let his friend come over and have dinner with them. Bu Fifan was already very excited that Su Yun agreed to this. His good friend Wang Yu was naturally okay with it. He got the address and was ready to come over immediately. Su Yun soon drove to the construction site of the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. The light in the office of the engineering district headquarters was still on. Su Yun knew that he guessed right. It seemed that they hadn't finished their work for the day. As soon as the car stopped, two figures rushed over and waved their hands. Su Yun recognized them at first glance. They were the Zhang brothers. Brother Yun, why didn't you tell us that you were coming over? Zhang Wanning said with his eyes wide open. His joy was indescribable. Zhang Yongliang was so excited that he spoke incoherently. Does Boss Tang know that you're coming? Oh, if she knows, she'll be so happy. I'll go and inform them now. Su Yun pulled Zhang Yongliang and returned the car key to him. No, I'll go and find them myself. Take my godson here and wait for his friend. After that, Su Yun pointed at Bu Fifan. The Zhang brothers naturally didn't dare to neglect Bu Fifan's status. They immediately went forward to shake his hand politely, which made Bu Fifan feel a little embarrassed. Judging from the strength of their hands and the bulging veins on their temples, Bu Fifan was certain that these two were not ordinary people. It seemed that Su Yun was a big shot that he had not expected. When Su Yun brought Guagua to the office of the engineering headquarters, he heard Zhuo Meiyan and Tang Jiu discussing something in the room. Guagua couldn't help but knock on the door twice. Let's talk about it later. Tang Jiu's voice sounded from within the room. Following which, she continued to discuss something with Zhuo Meiyan. Guagua wasn't angry at being rejected. Instead, she pursed her lips and deliberately said in a coquettish voice, Sister Xiao Jiu, is there anything more important than your sister's arrival? Guagua's words scared Tang Jiu. Soon, the sound of people getting up came from the office. Tang Jiu opened the door and didn't know what to say when she saw Su Yun and Guagua. Zhuo Meiyan, who was sitting on the sofa in the office, also opened her mouth wide in surprise. Su Yun's appearance was too sudden. He didn't even greet them before coming. What a huge surprise. Oh my God, why are you here? Tang Jiu couldn't believe her eyes and exclaimed, Why, am I not welcome? Guagua ran into Tang Jiu's arms with a smile and said coquettishly, I haven't seen you for so long. I missed you, so I came here. Tang Jiu was delighted by this little cutie's words and hurriedly pulled her into the house. Sister misses you too. It's just that I've been too busy recently and haven't had time to see you. I heard that you went to Shenzhen with Su Yun. How was it? Did you get used to it? A big city is definitely better than a small county. When sister found out that Su Yun brought you out, she was very supportive. Su Yun just laughed. He didn't do it on purpose. He just let nature take its course. He didn't agree with Tang Jiu's words. It was the same everywhere in the country. Big cities had the prosperity of big cities, and small cities had the comfort of small cities. As for people, it was up to them to adapt to life in that kind of city. Not all the people in the big cities were happy. There were also scavengers living in the shanty towns at the bottom. Not all the people in the small counties were poor. Nowadays, society was developing too fast. The streets of the small counties were not only filled with Mercedes-Benz and Audi, but also Porsche and Maserati were not rare anymore. Looks like you missed Boss Tang too. Although Zhuo Meiyan was also excited when she saw Su Yun, She knew how to control her emotions and said indifferently, "I'm mainly here to see how the construction is progressing." Soo-yoon said, "How is it? Is everything going well since you came back?" Zwa Mei-yen nodded. "Yes, everything is going well. Don't worry. With me and Boss Tang working so hard, you won't be disappointed. When the film and television plaza is built, remember to burn incense in front of the old man's grave. It's all thanks to his blessing." Soo-yoon nodded. "That's for sure. I haven't been there in a long time. At least you have a conscience." Zwa Mei-yen smiled. "That little brother of yours is having so much fun on Qingdao that he forgot to go home. I had Wang Zhe and Zwa Yeming take him to a restaurant. Today is a good day to celebrate. The main framework of the film and television plaza is basically completed. Boss Tang and I are discussing the details. Since you're here, let's talk over dinner." Soo-yoon nodded. "Okay. I'll also introduce you to my godson." Tang Jiu was very surprised when he heard this, but Zwa Mei-yen didn't have much of a reaction. She just shrugged and said, "You're not even married yet, and you already have a son and a daughter. Are you trying to kill us single women with jealousy? Let's go. Take me to see our son. Why didn't you let him in?" Bu Fifen waited for his brother, Wang Yu. The two were chatting at the door. Wang Yu was also surprised when he found out that the film and television plaza was the property of Bu Fifen's godfather. He was amazed and envious of Bu Fifen's good fortune. He had Aunt Yi in Shenzhen, who owned the Xinkai Hotel, and such a powerful godfather in Qingdao. When they left the office, Zwa Mei-yen saw the two boys beside the Zhang brothers. She walked up and asked directly, "Which one is my son?" Bu Fifen and Wang Yu were both stunned by the powerful Zhu Yeqing. They didn't know how to answer. Zhang Wanning pointed at Bu Fifen as a hint to Zwa Mei-yen. Zwa Mei-yen smiled faintly. "What an elegant eldest son. I can be considered a blessed person." "Who's your son? Can you not talk nonsense?" Bu Fifen didn't know that she was Zwa Mei-yen. Zwa Mei-yen didn't get angry. "Wow, what a temper. I like children with character. Soo-yoon has good taste. He knows how to pick." Just as Bu Fifen was about to explode, Soo-yoon walked up and pointed at Zwa Mei-yen. "This is your Aunt Zwa, Zwa Mei-yen." "Ah." Bu Fifen's eyes widened. Was this the white-lipped Zhu Yeqing Zwa Mei-yen that Aunt Yi always talked about? "What Just call me godmother. I'll be your godfather's woman sooner or later." Zwa Mei-yen didn't care about the others around her. However, they probably wouldn't say anything to her. Except for Guagua, who would secretly stick out her tongue. Bu Fifen had never seen such a scene before. Wasn't this woman too direct? In fact, Bu Fifen already thought of Ruan Qingxuang as his godmother. Now that another one popped up, he couldn't handle it. For Guagua, who was used to this kind of scene, it was easy. "I'm afraid there will be a lot of people who want to be your godmother in the future. Just get used to it. Soo-yoon, your precious daughter is really good with words. I like it." Zwa Mei-yen turned around and smiled at Guagua. "Will you call me godmother too? That depends on your performance." Guagua shrugged. She wasn't afraid of Zwa Mei-yen's aura at all. "It seems like you're not bad to my dad. But I don't have the final say in the end. Just do your best. At least let this little guest see your sincerity today." Zwa Mei-yen really didn't know what to do with Guagua. She couldn't help but smile. Okay. I'll definitely do my best. Let's go. The restaurant has already been arranged. Let's eat the most authentic and fresh seafood today. What do you think? I was waiting for you to say that," Guagua said excitedly. Bu Fifen's friend, Wang Yu, couldn't stay calm. Everyone here was a big shot. He said weakly, "My family is in the seafood business. I want to ask which restaurant you booked. I'll know if the seafood is fresh or not." Zwa Mei-yen was stunned. "There's such a relationship? Then I really want to ask you, is the seafood at Tianhai Hotel delivered by your family?" Is it fresh? Fresh. Fresh. Wang Yu nodded vigorously. Tianhai Hotel is my second aunt's restaurant. All of her seafood is supplied by my family. It's definitely fresh. If that's the case, then I'll treat tonight. You don't have to worry about paying the bill, Zhuo Meiyan said. I'm very happy that my godson has such a loyal friend like you. If you have any problems in the future, you can tell Aunt Zhuo. I'll definitely help you. Wang Yu nodded, flattered. Being friends with Bu Fifan was not a waste. To be able to meet so many big shots in one night was a blessing from his past life. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. Zhuo Meiyan, oh Zhuo Meiyan, why did you have to tease him? However, Zhuo Meiyan's actions seemed to have won over Bu Fifan. Unexpectedly, Bu Fifan said to Zhuo Meiyan, "Thank you, Aunt Zhuo." Su Yun couldn't help but look at Zhuo Meiyan in surprise. Was this the legendary making connections? This move of Zhuo Meiyan's was simply too miraculous. Seeing Su Yun's surprise, Zhuo Meiyan flicked her hair proudly. Let's go. Whatever you want to eat today, I'll pay for it. Tang Jiu had spent a lot of time with Zhuo Meiyan. He admired his elder sister's way of doing things. He had to admit that she had learned a lot. Tang Jiu, who had always been proud, had learned to be humble after taking over the Tang group. They all got into the car. The Zhang brothers led the way to Tianhai Hotel. On the way, Zhuo Meiyan called her younger brother, Zhuo Yeming, and told him that Su Yun was here and that they had to treat him with the best hospitality. After hanging up, Zhuo Yeming shared the news with Lin Guo and Wang Zhe. Both of them were very surprised, especially Lin Guo. He had been planning to visit Su Yun the day after tomorrow. He hadn't expected him to come so suddenly. Madam, today's seafood must be the best. Zhuo Yeming went straight to the owner of the hotel, who was Wang Zhe's second aunt. The price is not a problem. Our guest is too important. We can't afford to be negligent. The owner nodded and patted her chest. She asked curiously, what guest is so important? My brother-in-law, my biological brother-in-law, Zhuo Yeming said seriously. Chapter 614. It was obvious that Su Yun's arrival excited everyone. Whether it was Zhuo Meiyan or Tang Jiu, although they were both strong women in the business world, they were still women. When they didn't have anyone to rely on, they would feel very tired. However, Su Yun's arrival brought them a kind of mental and physical relaxation. Although they didn't need Su Yun to do anything, the two of them still felt relaxed when they relied on him. At the dinner table, Su Yun introduced Bu Fifan to everyone one by one. Everyone was very friendly to Su Yun, their godson. As for Guagua, needless to say, she was a natural socializer, so she quickly got along well with everyone. Lin Guo also happily accepted that he would be Guagua and Bu Fifan's personal bodyguard during their vacation on Guqin Island. With Lin Ji's current level of strength, ordinary people probably wouldn't be able to touch or hurt him, unless there was a special accident. What's more, besides Lin Guo, Wang Zhe was also arranged by Zhuo Meiyan to be their bodyguard, part-time driver and ATM machine. Zhuo Meiyan would cover all of Guagua and Bu Fifan's expenses on Guqin Island. This was undoubtedly a way to quickly get closer to them. Although Guagua and Bu Fifan weren't the kind of children who lacked money, they were still very fond of Zhuo Meiyan's generosity. Su Yun didn't have any objection to Zhuo Meiyan's way of doing things. He knew what Zhuo Meiyan was thinking. She just wanted to get closer to the children around her, and didn't want everyone to be so restrained in front of her. During the meal, Tang Jiu told Su Yun about the construction plan for the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza in detail. About a week later, all the engineers and technicians would be preparing to return to their hometowns for the new year. During the Spring Festival, the construction would be stopped for a week, and after the new year, it would quickly resume and enter into a full-scale rush. According to common sense, such a huge project might take more than 2 years. But now, with their two-pronged approach of construction and renovation, they could save half or even more of the time. If there were no accidents, the project would definitely be completed in less than a year. If the weather was good all year and there were no major accidents, it might only take 10 months. Su Yun gave Tang Jiu very serious suggestions based on his analysis, and Tang Jiu humbly accepted them. Halfway through the meal, Su Yun finally had time to ask Zhuo Meiyan, "Where's Brother Dong? Why haven't I seen him yet? It was all thanks to his help last time. I should at least give him a toast. Is there something he needs to do, or? He's not on Qingdao now." Zhuo Meiyan dispelled Su Yun's doubts. After returning to Qingdao, Wu Yuandong seemed to have something on his mind. I asked him several times, but he said it was nothing. The next day, he told me that he wanted to take a leave of absence for a while. He wanted to rest and relax. Su Yun frowned. This didn't seem like Wu Yuandong's style. He couldn't have suffered from depression just because of a trip to the snow forest in the northeastern Qing and mountains. And then of course I agreed. Zhuo Meiyan shrugged. I felt that he needed to rest, so I gave him an indefinite leave. I thought that maybe he wanted to go back to Taiwan Island to take a look. I thought that he missed his family, so I let him go without worry. But later, I found that he didn't take the documents he needed to go to Taiwan Island. He wouldn't have rashly returned to Taiwan Island. The Sonlian Association is very powerful in Taiwan Island. If he could stay there, he wouldn't have run to a city in the northern part of Huaxia to make a living in Sky Entertainment Group. Su Yun said, he probably wouldn't have rashly returned to Taiwan Island. There's something fishy about this. Although he said this, Su Yun already had his own guesses. When he was in Shenzhen, Ruan Qingshuang told him that Qin Wanner was in charge of a very big case. The person who came was a major suspect on Taiwan Island. If Su Yun's bold guess was correct, this major suspect might be related to the Three Lotus Association, and also related to Wu Yuandong. At the very least, Su Yun couldn't find any reason why Wu Yuandong would return to Taiwan Island. There were only two possibilities for him to leave everyone's side. One was that he was afraid that his situation on Qingdao Island would be exposed and bring unnecessary trouble to others. The other was that he had some connection with the major suspect on Taiwan Island, and now he had gone to Shenzhen. These were the two possibilities that Su Yun could think of that were the closest to the current situation. If nothing unexpected happened, he was more willing to believe the first possibility. Of course, it wasn't completely impossible for a third possibility to exist. After all, Su Yun was human and not God. He was just making some guesses. Thinking of this, Su Yun couldn't help but worry about Qin Wanner. At first, when Su Yun heard what Ruan Qingshuang said, he didn't take the major suspect seriously. Su Yun felt that as long as the person could be monitored by the police, he shouldn't be a powerful person. However, now that he thought about it, this major suspect might be related to Wu Yuandong. This meant that he was also on the Sonlian Association ship. He wasn't someone to be trifled with. Did he say anything before he left? Su Yun was still quite concerned about Wu Yuandong. A person's fate was often determined by their personality. Zhuo Meiyan shook her head. If he could say anything, I would have told you long ago. It's because he didn't say anything that I don't know how to explain it to you. After saying this, Zhuo Meiyan muttered to herself, it's better that I didn't know his identity. That way, I could have refused him. But now, I can't refuse anything he says. He's your brother and I'm your brother. As his sister-in-law, I can't say no. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Fine. Forget I said anything. Anyway, Brother Dong isn't a 3-year-old kid. Back then, he was able to escape from the Sonlian Association and hide in Sky Entertainment. This means that even if he can't beat them, he can still escape. Let's not worry about it. Let nature take its course. If he comes back, he'll come back sooner or later. If he doesn't come back, he won't come back even if we hope for him. Zhuo Yeming sighed and said, Sister, I told you not to raise his salary all of a sudden. Now Brother Dong must be under a lot of pressure, so he ran away. After all, his salary was only as a chauffeur. If you suddenly raise his salary tenfold, isn't it obvious that you want him to do other things? If it were me, I wouldn't do it. I would leave too. Even if he's only a chauffeur, I can't possibly give him that little money. Zhua Meiyan glared at her brother. No matter what, he's still the hall master of the Qing Shui Hall. Do you think he's like you, only knowing how to eat and wait for death? Shut up. You don't have the right to interrupt. The reason why Zhua Meiyan was angry was because she had suspected that Wu Yuandong felt uncomfortable because she had given him a raise, and that was why he had left. However, she still refused to admit that it was because of her. Now that Zhua Yeming brought it up, she felt that she had lost face. After being scolded, Zhua Yeming immediately shut his mouth and ate. He knew his sister's temper very well. Don't worry. It's not because of that. Su Yun comforted Zhua Meiyan. Brother Dong must have his own reasons for leaving. We can't make him stay just because we want to. Don't think too much about it. I'm sure it's because of Brother Dong. I know him. I feel much better after hearing your words, Zhua Meiyan said with a sad expression. Zhua Meiyan looked disappointed as she said, Actually, Brother Dong has been my chauffeur for so long, and he's always been very responsible. I'm really disappointed that he suddenly left. When I think about my past actions, I feel that I've let him down. When Bu Fifan and his friend Wang Yu heard this conversation, their jaws dropped to the ground. Although they were only students, they were very familiar with the name of the Three Lotus Society. They had all heard of it before. It was no joke. In their minds, the Three Lotus Society was an extremely powerful existence. Not to mention the fact that the 5 Hall Masters of the Three Lotus Society were figures of admiration. Even if they were asked to be cannon fodder in the Three Lotus Society, they would feel honored. Old Boo, how did you get to know such an awesome person? Does your homeroom teacher know that you're so awesome? Wang Yu whispered to Bu Fifan. Damn, if your homeroom teacher finds out, let's see if he still dares to punish you. Your father can wipe out his entire family with a single sentence. Damn, I still feel like I'm dreaming. The Three Lotus Society's Clearwater Hall Master is actually your godmother's chauffeur. You really opened my eyes when you asked me to come here today. I'm really impressed. I'll follow you no matter what. Bu Fifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He couldn't understand Su Yun anymore. Su Yun was becoming more and more powerful than he had imagined. He even felt a trace of fear toward Su Yun now. He didn't have this feeling when he first met Su Yun. When he first met Su Yun, Bu Fifan even naively thought about making Su Yun fear him. Now that he thought about it, he was really naive back then. I really didn't know about this. Bu Fifan shook his head helplessly. If I knew, I wouldn't have come with them. I would have asked you to treat me alone. Don't be like that. It's my honor to be able to dine with so many big shots today. Besides, even if I were to treat you alone, I would have invited you to eat seafood at my aunt's place. Wang Yu said, This is fate. Hee, can I also have a godfather or something later? Then this trip will be really worth it. Guagua heard their secret conversation and poked her head over with a serious expression. You're dreaming. Who do you think my dad is? Anyone can have him as their godfather. If it wasn't for my full recommendation, even Brother Bu wouldn't have. You're not related to us in any way. Why should we have to have you as our godfather? Wang Yu became anxious when he heard that. He hurriedly said, Sister, beautiful, beautiful sister, if you want to eat any fresh seafood in the future, just give me a call. I'll arrange for someone to send it to you by plane within 12 hours. As long as you're in the country, I guarantee that you'll be able to eat it within 12 hours. Guagua felt that this condition was quite tempting. She giggled and stood up to Su Yun. Dad, can I introduce you to another godfather? Su Yun didn't have time to play house with children now. He said to Guagua in a flat but serious tone, Eat your food obediently. We adults have something to talk about. If you're done eating, your Uncle Lin Guo will take you out to play. Chapter 615. Su Yun wasn't worried about Guagua and Bu Fifan. With 2 experts protecting them, the gangsters in the night market were nothing. After they left, Su Yun and the others quickly finished their meal. When they went to check out and return to the hotel, the lady boss refused to accept Zhuo Meiyan's money. If I knew that you were the relatives of my nephew's good friend, I wouldn't have accepted your money either. The lady boss of the Sky Sea seafood restaurant shook her head like a rattledrum. I promised my nephew that I would treat you all as my family. If I were to take your money, I would be going back on my word in front of my nephew. This meal must be on me. Please go back. If you want to eat seafood in the future, you must come here. I promise to give you the freshest seafood. Zhuo Meiyan was helpless. It's natural to pay for a meal. If Lady Boss is like this, how can we have the nerve to come here again? Besides, even if we're close, you should give us a discount. Otherwise, I'll be really embarrassed. The Lady Boss hurriedly shook her head. You've eaten here so many times before. I won't lose money even if you don't accept my money this time. I know you don't lack money. Really, it's just a small token of my appreciation. Take it as my thanks for taking care of our business. Treat it as my treat. Thank you for your kindness, Lady Boss. If we come again next time, please don't be like this. Otherwise, we won't come again. Zhuo Meiyan said, next time, we'll definitely come for a drink. Of course, of course. I should have gone to propose a toast to all of you today, but there was some trouble just now and I wasted time. I was just about to propose a toast to all of you when you finished eating and came out. The Lady Boss's mouth was very clever. It's all my fault. I'll definitely propose a toast to all of you next time and apologize. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Su Yun and his group left the restaurant happily under the polite greetings of the Lady Boss of the Sky Sea seafood restaurant. The Lady Boss was so polite that she would definitely bring back her customers. She must have heard from her nephew that they were all big shots with extraordinary backgrounds. That was why she insisted on waiving the bill. Although the bill was waived this time, Su Yun and the others could still easily earn back the money if they visited the restaurant a few times in the future. After all, the Lady Boss was a businesswoman. It was impossible for her to take care of your food and drink every time. At most, she would say a few polite words and give a toast and 2 dishes. It was just a small matter. After leaving the hotel, Zhuo Meiyan and Tang Jiu returned to the hotel where they were staying. As soon as they arrived at the hotel, Tang Jiu received a call from the director of the design company who was responsible for the design of the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. He said that he suddenly considered the problem of drainage and crowd evacuation and hoped that Tang Jiu could come to the site to discuss it with them. After all, the cinema plaza was built on the picturesque quicksand golden shore. Even if there was a 1 in 1,000 chance of encountering a tsunami, they still had to consider the possibility of water entering the buildings of the cinema plaza, evacuating people in an emergency, and building a drainage system. Of course, this was very important. Tang Jiu definitely wouldn't be careless. These things were the contractors' and designers' business. Naturally, he couldn't trouble Zhuo Meiyan. He could only say that after the plan was confirmed, he would ask for Zhuo Meiyan's opinion as the client. Su Yun wanted to go with Tang Jiu, but he didn't say anything when he remembered that he still had an important mission to do on the island. After seeing Tang Jiu and the Zhang brothers off, he returned to the hotel with Zhuo Meiyan. Do you want me to get a room for you, or do you want to sleep with me? Zhuo Meiyan joked as she walked to the front desk. She wanted to find a few rooms close to hers for Su Yun and the others. She didn't expect that a serious guy like Su Yun would do something intimate with her when he brought his children to the island. Su Yun's answer was completely out of Zhuo Meiyan's expectations. Just get 2 rooms for Bu Fifan and Guagua. I'll sleep with you tonight. Zhuo Meiyan was stunned. She turned to look at Su Yun's expression. He didn't seem to be joking at all. Now, she was really dumbfounded. What did you say? Are you kidding me? You want to sleep with me tonight? Let me say this first. I don't allow the person I like to sleep on the sofa in the suite. If you sleep with me in the room, then you'll sleep with me on the bed, right? Su Yun nodded and didn't say anything else. Zhuo Meiyan could only sigh inwardly. God, did the sun rise from the west today? She was really puzzled. It was as if Su Yun had changed into a different person. She found it hard to believe. It was a little too exaggerated. However, she still followed Su Yun's instructions and only prepared rooms for Bu Fifan and Guagua. She also called Wang Zhe and told him to go to the front desk to get the room cards for the two children when they came back. Then, she took Su Yun back to her room. Zhua Yeming, who had been silent all this time, started to wonder how his future brother-in-law's brain had been enlightened. He finally knew that his sister was the best. If he didn't get the chance to get close to her, he would definitely be an idiot. It seemed like he was really going to be promoted to a real brother-in-law. Guagua and Bu Fifan were having a great time at the famous snack street of Qingdao. Although the bumpy road during the day made them almost fall asleep by the time the car arrived at Qingdao, they didn't feel sleepy or tired at all now. Lin Ge was also happy to take them out to play because the two little guys were just like him 2 days ago. They were full of curiosity about this place and wanted to eat and drink a little of everything. Moreover, they had a machine, Wang Yu, who would pay the bill. No matter what Bu Fifan and Guagua wanted to eat or take, he would take out his wallet without hesitation. He would even pay for Lin Ge and Wang Zhe's portions. "Little Bu, your brother is really generous." Wang Zhe shook his head helplessly. "Director has arranged everything. I'll pay for everything. I haven't spent a single cent until now. You guys are really making things difficult for me." Brother Wang Zhe, don't be so polite with me." Wang Yu said, "We are all members of the Wang family. If we go back more than 10 generations, we might even be a family. My treat is equivalent to your treat. Bu Fifan and I are the best brothers in the school." He came to Qingdao. As the host, if I don't do my duty as a host, am I still a brother? Am I right? Wang Zhe gave him a thumbs up. "Brothers should be like this. You're so generous." Guagua didn't care who paid the bill, as long as she had fun. Finally, they were tired of walking, so they ordered some fresh barbecued seafood from a food stall by the sea, such as grilled squid, grilled abalone, grilled starfish, grilled clams. Although it was winter and the sea breeze was quite cold, they still ate happily. Lin Ge and Wang Zhe ordered a few large glasses of draft beer. They drank while watching the three little guys wolf down the food. Perhaps in their eyes, the seafood in the seafood restaurant was not as good as the seafood in the roadside stalls. It was Guagua's first time eating grilled starfish. At first, she was a little scared, but after tasting it, she found that she couldn't help herself. And it was also her first time eating grilled abalone and grilled clams. It was completely different from what she had eaten before. Even though Guagua knew that eating too much grilled and fried food would hurt her stomach, she still couldn't resist the temptation of these delicious foods. After the three little guys gobbled down the food, Wang Yu still took out her wallet and shouted for the bill. In fact, it didn't cost much to eat these things, so Wang Yu still had more than 8,000 yuan left of the 10,000 yuan she brought out. The owner of the barbecue stall by the seaside with a crew cut smiled and threw the bill in front of Wang Yu. 14,900 yuan. I'll charge you 14,900 yuan. How much? Wang Yu's face changed. This was too much, wasn't it? 14,900 yuan? Even in the high-end seafood restaurant of his second aunt, these things wouldn't cost this much. The most expensive thing here was the grilled abalone that cost 100 yuan per skewer. 15 skewers would only cost 1,500 yuan. Guagua almost burst out laughing. "Boss, are you crazy about money? What did we eat that costs more than 10,000 yuan? But the owner of the crew-cut stall pointed at the bill impatiently. "Abalone for 600 yuan per skewer. 15 skewers for you, so that's 9,000 yuan. Big starfish for 200 yuan per skewer. You asked for 10 skewers, so that's 2,000 yuan. Big skewers of squid are cheap, 100 yuan per skewer. You asked for 20 skewers, so that's another 2,000 yuan. Grilled clams are 1,000 yuan per skewer. That adds up to 14,000 yuan. 6 mugs of draft beer is 600 yuan. And the 5 mugs of freshly squeezed fruit juice is 60 yuan per mug. That's 14,900 yuan exactly. Charging you 14,900 yuan is already a lot. You son of a b*tch, do you think we're stupid? Wang Yu stood up and scolded in Qingdao's local language. F*ck, do you think we're foreigners? Young lady, show me your menu. The owner of the crew cut stall slammed the menu on the table. See for yourself. Wang Yu was the local bully in Bu Fifen's eyes. She couldn't take this lying down. She pointed at the menu and said, "Look, behind the abalone is 100 yuan. Behind the starfish is 20 yuan. Behind the squid is 10 yuan. Wait a minute." The owner of the crew cut stall didn't wait for Wang Yu to finish. He opened the folded menu again and pointed at the covered section. The abalone is 100 yuan per skewer. Those are the small seafood and squid. I asked you if you wanted the big or small one. You said, "Of course I want the big one." The section at the back is the big one. You didn't see it clearly. You can't blame me, right? If you don't have money, don't pretend to be rich. You wanted to treat your friends well. I didn't force you to ask for the big one. You're asking for the wrong price. Wang Yu said angrily. The owner of the crew cut stall sneered. I bought these things at the seafood market. Since I bought them, I should have the final say on the price. Wang Yu was dumbfounded. She knew she was being cheated. She didn't expect a local like her to have such a day. You know who I am. How dare you cheat me like this? I don't care who you are. The owner of the crew cut stall didn't hold back. Son of a b*tch, if you dare to talk dirty again, I'll beat you until your parents can't recognize you. Do you understand? Pay up and get out. Don't f*king talk nonsense with me. I'm not an unreasonable person. Since your friends are here, I'll give you some face. Give me whatever you have in your wallet first. Leave your phone here. Send the rest to me later and I'll return your phone. The owner of the crew cut stall seemed to have seen the latest model of Samsung W2014 in Wang Yu's hand. This phone cost 16,000 yuan. Chapter 616. Wang Yu's heart sank to the bottom. He regretted it so much. As a local, he had fallen into such a lowly trap. How could he endure it? Moreover, he had done it in front of his good brother, Bu Fifen, and his little sister, Guagua, whom he had just met. Money was not a big deal. The most important thing was that he had lost face. Face was important. You want money, right? Okay, I'll call someone to send it over now. But that depends on whether you can live to receive the money or not. Wang Yu said unwillingly. In fact, he was very helpless at this time. He didn't know how to get back his face, so he could only vent his anger in this way. You're too naive. The stall owner sneered. Do you think I'll give you a chance to call the police? Kid, do as I say and get out of here when you're done. Don't force me to beat you. I forgot to tell you that I've been practicing Sonda since elementary school. I even won a prize in the Sonda competition in Qingdao. If you don't believe me, you can ask around. Stop talking nonsense. After that, the stall owner kicked over the chairs in front of Wang Yu and spat. Your father should have taught you that sometimes you have to learn to spend money to avoid disaster. Wang Yu's heart was filled with grief and anger. He really wanted to find a hole to hide in. But at this time, Bu Fifen stood up and stood in front of him. Maybe it was his brother's action that gave Wang Yu strength, so he forgot all his fear in an instant. Bu Fifen looked at the stall owner with cold eyes and said simply and straightforwardly, "We've eaten a lot of your food. We'll give you the money we deserve, and we won't give you a cent if you don't deserve it. If you know what's good for you, you'd better settle your accounts right now. Don't make me be rude to you." How could a 13-year-old kid be afraid of a group of street thugs when he said you're welcome? Soon, Bu Fifen's words were ridiculed by the crowd. Following that, the stall owner raised the price again. My money has been in your hands for so long and you still haven't given it to me. There's already interest now. 15,000 yuan. If it's a single cent less, don't f*king think about leaving. Gather the money now. Bu Fifen and Wang Yu were trembling with anger, but Guagua, who had seen the world, didn't react at all. She pointed at the table that had been kicked over by the stall owner and said, "There are still things on it that we haven't finished eating. Since you sold it to us, we should have the final say on its value." "That's what you said just now. If I say that this unfinished abalone of mine is worth 1,000,000 yuan, are you going to give us the change instead?" When the crew-cut stall owner heard the little girl use his own words to slap his own mouth, he was furious. He suddenly swung his arm at Guagua and said, "Who are you, little girl? Get lost." Bu Fifan saw the situation and quickly stood in front of Guagua. He could take the slap, but he couldn't let Guagua suffer a loss. However, when the huge wind from the slap came, Bu Fifan heard a muffled sound. He didn't get slapped in the face. Instead, he saw that Lin Gu had suddenly appeared in front of the stall owner and kicked him more than 10 meters away. He didn't stop until he knocked over the charcoal stove of his barbecue stall. While he was struggling, the charcoal stove burned the stall owner's short hair and eyebrows. The sudden appearance of the Chang Yao Jin scared the thugs around the stall owner. Half a second ago, they saw him drinking draft beer 2 meters away. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of their stall owner and kicked him away. That speed was too strange, wasn't it? Bu Fifan and Wang Zhe both widened their eyes. Their jaws were about to hit the ground. "Awesome. Awesome. Really awesome," Guagua said to Lin Gu as if she was used to it. "Uncle Pigeon, you should hit him harder. These bad guys must have bullied many people in this way. If my dad was here, he would kick him in the face and make him look for his teeth on the ground." Lin Gu couldn't help but smile bitterly. "Is that so? Well, I'll pay attention to my next kick. I won't let you down." At this time, one of the thugs wanted to attack Guagua, but before he could pounce on her, he felt his head go black. The huge pain from his mouth and nose made him fall to the ground and scream. He spat out a mouthful of blood and more than 10 teeth. Wang Zhe's high kick was really handsome. He didn't forget to pose and asked Guagua, "Was it like what I did just now?" Guagua nodded seriously and said with certainty, "Yes, it was like that. Beat them until they look for their teeth on the ground." Since the evil little princess had spoken, Lin Gu and Wang Zhe, as her two uncles, of course couldn't disobey. The two of them suddenly attacked from the left and right. More than 10 seconds later, the dozens of helpers of the stall owner were all kneeling on the ground. Everyone was holding their chins and howling in pain. Each of them spat out more than 10 teeth, but they didn't even see how the other party kicked them. The stall owner was completely scared out of his wits. He was still full of resentment when he was kicked, but now he was only scared and terrified. Who did he offend? It was simply not human. Bu Fifan swallowed a mouthful of saliva. None of the people around Su Yun were to be trifled with. They were all monsters. He had seen people who were good at fighting, but he had never seen anyone as good as them. Compared to Lin Gu and Wang Zhe, the fighting masters he thought were absolutely trash. Seeing this, Bu Fifan couldn't help but think of the Hunter Academy that Su Yun had mentioned to him. An inexplicable impulse rose in his heart. However, he quickly suppressed this impulse. There were some things that he had to bury deep in his heart. Wang Yu couldn't wait to kneel down and worship him as his master. This was too awesome. Too awesome. He imagined that if he could be at such a level, he would be a piece of trash when he went out in the future. No one would dare to mess with him. He would never be bullied again. Big brothers. Big brothers, what happened just now was a misunderstanding. I won't take a single cent from you today. Please let me go. I won't do it again. The stall owner was so scared that he stuttered when he saw them approaching him. Every time they bullied someone, they would judge the strength of the other party. This time, they never thought that there would be such a monster around the three kids. It's too late to admit your mistake now. Guagua said seriously, "If I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know how to take responsibility for your mistakes." Uncle Pigeon, his teeth. Lin Gu smiled and said to Bu Fifan and Wang Yu, "I'll leave it to you, right? Make sure you aim at the middle of his head when you kick him. I guarantee that his front teeth will fall out with a single kick. You can try it." If the first kick doesn't work, you can kick him twice. If the second kick doesn't work, you can kick him thrice. Bu Fifan and Wang Yu were in high spirits. They rubbed their palms and walked forward. The stall owner quickly covered his face with his arms when they were about to kick him. Luckily, he didn't lose his teeth because of the 2 kicks. Bu Fifan and Wang Yu were very disappointed. They kicked the stall owner again and again. If you continue to block me, then I'll personally kick you. When that happens, it won't just be your teeth that will fall out. I'm afraid the bones on your face and arms will also suffer. Wang Zhe walked up to the stall owner who was hugging his head and suddenly kicked his crotch. The stall owner cried out in pain and covered his crotch with both hands. Wang Zhe gave him a look. Bu Fifan and Wang Yu both raised their feet and stomped on the stall owner's mouth. After 2 kicks, the stall owner didn't even have the chance to spit out his teeth. He swallowed them down along with his blood and teeth. You're promising, Wang Zhe praised the 2. Hearing the wails of the hooligans behind them, Lin Gu and Wang Zhe happily returned to the hotel with the 3 kids. In Guogua's words, this was called clearly distinguishing between love and hate. As long as it was a bad guy, he should receive the punishment he deserved. Only in this way would they really think twice before doing such a heinous thing in the future. If they were let go just because they begged for mercy, they would definitely continue to bully honest people in the future. The punishment should be done in 1 step. Presumably, these fellows, who could only live with fake teeth for the rest of their lives, would never dare to do such a thing again. On the other hand, after Su Yun and Zhua Meiyan went to the room, Zhua Meiyan opened a bottle of champagne and poured a glass for each of Su Yun. Listening to the soothing music, the man and woman drank the champagne and felt the ambiguous atmosphere. This feeling was exactly what Zhua Meiyan wanted. However, she didn't understand why Su Yun was so proactive this time. I'm going to take a shower. Do you dare to come with me? Zhua Meiyan deliberately provoked him. I chose this hotel because the bathroom here is comfortable enough. It has a jacuzzi just like the bathroom in the suite in Shenzhen Xinkai Hotel. However, this bathtub is quite big. It's a waste for me to take a shower alone. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yesterday, he teased Ruan Qingxuang. He didn't expect that retribution would come so quickly. Today, he was teased by Zhua Meiyan on Qingdao. Do you really not see me as a man, or are you really that impatient? Su Yun shook his head helplessly. You've been tired all day. Go take a bath and relax. This wine is good. I want to drink another glass. Zhua Meiyan looked at the remaining champagne bottles and said to Su Yun, if this wine can give you courage, I don't mind you drinking the whole bottle. Hee, take your time drinking. I'm going to enjoy the bathroom here. The door isn't locked. You're welcome to join us at any time. Such naked provocation and temptation made Su Yun unable to stay calm. Zhua Meiyan was definitely the most seductive woman he had ever met. At least at this time, Zhua Meiyan's every move was captivating. No matter how strong Su Yun's willpower was, he couldn't resist this fatal temptation. Watching Zhua Meiyan walk into the bathroom, Su Yun drank the entire glass of champagne. He really didn't know if he would be unable to extricate himself from Zhua Meiyan's gentleness. Although it wasn't the first time, Su Yun really couldn't remember what he did with Yu Meiren that night. How did they do it? God seemed to be playing a joke on him. The sound of water splashing in the bathroom could be heard, and Su Yun's thoughts became more and more chaotic. He could only quickly pour himself a glass of champagne. Like a victim who had just crawled out of the desert, he gulped it down in one gulp. It was as if his throat was smoking. Chapter 617. It wasn't just Su Yun who was feeling emotional on the luxurious double bed in the bedroom. He didn't know how to describe his feelings at this moment. In the large jacuzzi bathtub in the bathroom, Zhua Meiyan's feelings were also complicated and tormented. She didn't know why, but when the opportunity she had been waiting for finally arrived, she suddenly felt a little hesitant. That feeling was like a young lady sitting in a bride's sedan chair. It was indescribable. In the past, she would always impatiently stick to Su Yun, as if she knew that Su Yun would reject her. But today, Su Yun's initiative made her feel a little strange. As for what kind of feeling it was, she couldn't put it into words. It could only be said that Su Yun's abnormality made Zhuo Meiyan feel a little lost. When facing Su Yun, Zhuo Meiyan could still be calm. But when it was her turn to think, she began to hesitate. She had never thought that she would hesitate when faced with the ambiguous branch that Su Yun took the initiative to throw out. However, all of this seemed to be happening unnaturally. But even if it was unnatural, Zhuo Meiyan would still take this opportunity to repay him. She owed Su Yun too much. Her life, her brother's life, her current life, and the fact that she could become Zhang Taisui's disciple. She owed Su Yun everything. Zhuo Meiyan knew that she had to take this opportunity. She could vaguely feel that she didn't have much time left. Ever since she returned from the Parkle clan in the Xing'an mountain range in the northeast, Zhuo Meiyan often felt a sense of powerlessness. Although the fierce battle that night made her feel that her strength and skills had increased, she also found that her mental state, which had been unable to break through, was holding her back. Zhuo Meiyan didn't know what the reason was, but she was very clear that if this continued, she would be unable to support her body for some reason sooner or later. If that day really came, Zhuo Meiyan would have no chance to repay Su Yun's kindness. Zhuo Meiyan wasn't afraid of death. Even if she died, she believed that she could go to the other side of the world to assist Zhang Taisui, the old man who had given her too much. If Su Yun was Zhuo Meiyan's savior, then Zhang Taisui was Zhuo Meiyan's second parent. Zhuo Meiyan walked out of the bathroom with anticipation and a little apprehension. She only had a towel wrapped around her body, but she was so enchanting. Her charm was enough to make any man bow down to her. Even Su Yun couldn't resist that seductive charm that seeped into her bones. After the woman came out of the bath, the faint fragrance on her body caused the atmosphere in the room to become flirtatious. For the first time, Zhuo Meiyan didn't know how to speak to Su Yun. For a moment, she wanted to use the champagne to calm her emotions, but she found that Su Yun had finished the entire bottle. Before Zhuo Meiyan walked out of the bathroom, Su Yun had thought that he would pick her up and throw her on the bed as soon as she came out. He would directly charge into the enemy's den. But when it really came down to it, Su Yun felt a knot in his heart. If it was purely for the sake of love, it would have been fine. But Su Yun was doing this to help Zhuo Meiyan break through the barrier that was obstructing her heart. At this time, how could he not feel complicated and disordered? In the end, Su Yun didn't charge into the enemy's den like he had imagined. He also didn't charge into the enemy's forbidden land and crazily take it for himself. He also didn't lead his army into the depths of the forbidden land. Su Yun stood up and said, "I'm going to take a shower too." Su Yun, who was always decisive, actually dropped the ball in this kind of thing. It wasn't that he was too weak, but he felt that if he did that, he would be letting Zhuo Meiyan down. Originally, this kind of thing between a man and a woman should be mutually in love. At the right time, at the right place, push the boat with the current, and let nature take its course. Naturally, things would happen. That kind of time could be called enjoyment, and it could be called love. If he only relied on this kind of belief that he had to do something, Su Yun really didn't know how to deal with it. However, when Su Yun left, Zhuo Meiyan seemed to let out a heavy sigh of relief. What was going on today? Zhuo Meiyan's mood was so complicated that she didn't know what to do. Su Yun temporarily left the bedroom. He stood under the shower and let the cold water wash over his body. He needed to calmly deal with the problem. He needed to calmly face all the situations that he should face. The cold water seemed to be very effective. Su Yun was quickly washed clean. Although he was very clear that if he did that kind of thing with Zhuo Meiyan, it wouldn't be an opportunity that came naturally. It would be a kind of mission and responsibility, but he still decided to carry out this mission and responsibility. This was because he thought of Yu Meiren. Although Yu Meiren and Su Yun could be considered childhood sweethearts, their first time together didn't come naturally. After Yu Meiren received Wang Yi's request for help, didn't she also carry a sense of mission and responsibility and do those things that shouldn't be a mission and mission with him? God really liked to play tricks on people. At least, that was what Su Yun felt. When he thought of the things that Yu Meiren did for him with a sense of mission and responsibility, Su-yun seemed to have thought through everything in an instant. He decided not to hesitate anymore. At least for now, Yu Meiren was still conscious. When Zhuo Meiyan did it to him, he was basically a completely unconscious person with no consciousness. Until now, Su-yun didn't know that his brother could still stand up when he was unconscious like that. It really was an animal's nature. On the way back to the hotel with everyone, Lin Gu suddenly thought of a question. Because these kids kept bothering him, he didn't have a chance to ask Su-yun. Now that he finally had some free time in the car, he sent a message to Su-yun. He wanted to ask if he had seen Gu Zueren in Shenzhen and if Gu Zueren had said something to him that made him suddenly come to Shenzhen. Soon, Lin Gu typed the message and sent it out. Brother, Gu Zueren told me that he would wait for you in Shenzhen. He said that you would only listen to his advice if he saw you in Shenzhen. He also said something to me before. He said that if you want Zweiking to live, you have to complete the yin and yang intercourse and help it break through its mental state. At that time, I didn't quite understand. He said that he would tell you this personally and I only needed to tell you that the people in Shenzhen are in danger. Since you can bring Guagua here, it means that the danger in Shenzhen is definitely over. Now I understand that you came to the Zither Island specifically to look for Zhuo Meiyan, right? At this moment, Su-yun was taking a shower in the bathroom. Since he had made up his mind, he had to give Zhuo Meiyan an unforgettable night. Of course, he would also give himself an unforgettable night. When Su-yun's phone rang, Zhuo Meiyan unintentionally glanced at it. She swore that she definitely didn't want to peek at Su-yun's privacy, but she accidentally saw the sentence, if you want Zweiking to live, you have to complete the yin and yang intercourse. For a moment, Zhuo Meiyan couldn't control her curiosity. She directly opened the message and read it. Zhuo Meiyan was stunned. Her mind was blank. She didn't know what she was thinking at this moment. Could it be that Su-yun came to find her this time and took the initiative to do so because of this? It wasn't because he was attracted to her at all. Everything was because of a single sentence from Gu Zueren. Because of that single sentence, he carried the responsibility and mission to complete the so-called intercourse of yin and yang with her. This couldn't even be counted as love between a man and a woman. This was just a mission, a mission. The answer made Zhuo Meiyan's mood very, very bad. She had already mustered up the courage to face Su-yun, but in an instant, all her courage had disappeared. No wonder Su-yun's behavior at night always made her feel strange. Su-yun finally cleaned himself up. He took a deep breath and prepared to be straightforward with Zhuo Meiyan. Anyway, he was going to do what he had to do. Why would he wear clothes or wrap a bath towel? He could just go out directly. After wiping himself clean, Su-yun directly pushed open the bathroom door and walked out. He was completely prepared for Zhuo Meiyan to greet him with a shy scream and provoke him. However, there was no one in the room. Where was Zhuo Meiyan? Where was she? Su-yun was dumbfounded. He stupidly stood naked in front of the bathroom door. His originally valiant and high-spirited little brother also hung his head. What was going on? Wasn't she already cleaned up and prepared? Why did she suddenly disappear? Could it be that Zhuo Meiyan wanted to do something fun with him? Was she going to suddenly attack him? Was she going to rape him? This was too much fun. He couldn't accept doing something so flashy on their first time. Just as Su-yun was puzzled, his phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was from Lin Gu. Brother, why didn't you reply? Didn't you receive the previous one? Receive what? Su-yun was stunned for a moment. He quickly opened his phone and saw a message. The message had already been read. When he saw the content, he was also dumbfounded. Zhuo Meiyan must have seen this message when he was showering, and then suddenly disappeared from the room. F***ck. Su-yun was furious. He directly replied to Lin Gu. Reply my ass. You're messing with me. Don't send me any more. I don't have time to chat with you. After Lin Gu received Su-yun's message, he actually replied with a smirk emoji and added, Understood, understood. You do what you need to do. I won't disturb you anymore. I wish you, golden gun doesn't fall, another 300 rounds. F***CK. Soo-yoon didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Golden gun doesn't fall, another 300 rounds? He didn't even have 1 round now. Forget about 300 rounds, his golden gun was already raised, but he didn't discover any enemy at all. What the F***CK was going on? If there was someone to blame, it was that bastard Lin Ge's fault. Why did he have to send a bullsh**T message at this time? He really couldn't do anything right. This was the rhythm of digging his own grave. Zhuo Meiyan had already showered. Where else could she have gone? Soo-yun's face was only left with a bitter smile. Sigh, man proposes, God disposes. In the face of unforeseen events, he had to face what he had to face. But this unforeseen event came too suddenly, didn't it? It was like reading a YY novel. When you saw a passionate scene, your pants were already taken off, and then there was nothing else. How could the audience endure this? Chapter 6:18. Soo-yoon quickly put on his clothes. He didn't know where Zhuo Meiyan went, so he could only rush downstairs to the front desk of the guest room center to ask, "Hello, I want to ask if you have seen a tall and proud woman, about this tall." Soo-yoon said as he gestured. The girl on duty at the guest room center didn't need Soo-yoon's description to know. Because Soo-yoon and Zhuo Meiyan were both handsome and stunning, she remembered them. "You mean the beauty who was with you just now, the one who booked 2 rooms and left her room card here, right?" Soo-yoon hurriedly nodded. Hearing the girl's tone, he said, Yes, that's her. Did you see where she went?" The girl on duty at the guest room center smiled. During this period of time, "Where did Dad go?" and "Where did time go?" were trending. Just after the "Where did the plane go?" incident, you came here to ask where your girlfriend went. Hee. Handsome, you are too trendy. Soo-yoon wasn't in the mood to joke, but because he had a request, he didn't want to lose his temper. He could only ask again, "Beauty, if you know where she went, please tell me, did she go out?" Of course she didn't go out. It's already 10 o'clock at night, of course a beauty wouldn't run around. I really don't know what happened between the two of you. She booked another room on the 6th floor, room 605. If you have a conflict, quickly go and coax her. The girl on duty at the guest room center said, "She looks very disappointed and in a bad mood." Soo-yoon let out a long sigh of relief. As long as he knew that Zhuo Meiyan didn't run out, it was fine. Otherwise, it would be difficult to find her. "Thank you. Beauty, don't worry, I will definitely tell your manager that your service is too good. I will definitely ask him to give you a bonus. In the future, if anyone from our company comes to stay here, it will all be because of your face." The girl on duty at the guest room center was flattered and smiled beautifully. How could she not be happy to be appreciated by such a handsome guy? Moreover, they were all rich people. No wonder they didn't feel any heartache when they booked a room. It turned out that they owned a company. It must be a big company. Soo-yoon took the elevator to the 6th floor and knocked on the door of room 605 without hesitation. "Zhuo Meiyan, it's me. I know you're in there. Open the door and let me explain this to you." Hearing that Soo-yoon was here, Zhuo Meiyan knew that she couldn't hide. With Soo-yoon's personality, if she didn't open the door for him to explain, he would definitely break in. It would be troublesome if that happened. Not only could she not avoid it, but she also had to pay for the hotel room. Money was a small matter, but trouble was big. Zhuo Meiyan opened the door. She was still in low spirits. Soo-yoon finally let out a sigh of relief. At least Zhuo Meiyan was still willing to open the door for him. "Let me explain." Soo-yoon closed the door as Zhuo Meiyan walked back to the bed and sat down. "Soo-yoon, I don't want to listen to anything right now," Zhuo Meiyan said. "Just now, I didn't ask for your permission and accidentally read your message. I hope you don't mind. I want to say that I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't want to read it at first, but it was a coincidence." I'm sorry. Su Yun was already very apologetic. Now that he heard Zhuo Meiyan say this, he felt very uncomfortable. Meiyan, listen to me. I'm not talking about you reading my message. I want to say that the content of the message isn't what you think it is. You don't need to say anything. I understand. Su Yun, I'm not an unreasonable person. Believe me, I definitely don't mean to blame you. I just feel that I can't accept this reality. Zhuo Meiyan said indifferently. I've always hoped that we could have the kind of feelings that I imagined. I hope that our story can be more perfect, and not like this. Su Yun sometimes felt that he was very stupid when it came to matters between men and women. He wasn't good at it at all. I know what you mean. I know that you don't want me to talk about love with you with a mission. I also know that it's not fair to you at all. But this happened when neither of us was prepared. I can't just watch you. Zhuo Meiyan smiled. I understand. Zhuo Meiyan smiled faintly. I understand what you mean. I also know that you've put in a lot of effort, but I really can't accept that you're only with me because of a mission. I owe you too much, and I don't want the only thing that I can repay you with, my precious first time, to become a reality that you've accepted to save me. This is too cruel for me. I'd rather die than go through this again. I really don't mean that. Su Yun said, I really didn't accept you to save you. Don't think like that. Also, I've never thought about how you'd repay me. When I saved you and Zhuo Yeming, I never thought about anything in return. I only hoped that you could survive. That's enough. That's the best way to repay me. I also owe Zhang Taisui a favor for surviving. If his death could be replaced with mine and my brother's life, I wouldn't hesitate to do so. Zhuo Meiyan said, but I can't see the King of Hell and the Black and White Impermanence. I can't negotiate with them. I owe Zhang Taisui a favor, and it's the biggest regret in my life that I can't repay him. So I don't want to leave any regrets on the debt I owe you. Su Yun knew that it was useless to say anything to her now. Then what will make you feel like you've repaid me? Do you have to repay me before you'll be happy? Will we be able to call it quits if we do that? You've taken care of the old man for so many years. You've been with him until the end of his life. You've also helped me manage the Sky Entertainment Group for so many years. You've helped the old man complete his dying wish. How do you want me to repay you? I've never thought of asking you to repay me anything. You gave me my life. Everything I do for you is what I should do, Zhuo Meiyan said without hesitation. Su Yun nodded. Okay, that's what you said. Everything you do for me is what you should do. Now, I want you to live for me. I want you to live for me and accept everything I'm going to do to you. Before Zhuo Meiyan could even react, Su Yun had already lifted Zhuo Meiyan up and threw her onto the bed. She then took a step forward and straddled Zhuo Meiyan's body. Everything happened too quickly. Zhuo Meiyan didn't even have time to react before Su Yun started to get serious. When Su Yun's warm lips met Zhuo Meiyan's cold lips, Zhuo Meiyan melted. She didn't resist at all. She enjoyed Su Yun's dominance. She enjoyed his tongue mercilessly prying open her teeth and teasing the tip of her tongue. That crazy kiss was like a dragon exploring its lair, causing Zhuo Meiyan to be unable to breathe. She could clearly feel the passion from Su Yun's body. This was definitely not a mission, this was the kind of madness and unruliness between a man and a woman. Zhuo Meiyan resisted at the beginning. Then, she allowed herself to be taken advantage of. Now, she took the initiative to cater to him. Everything happened so naturally. The two of them seemed to have melted together. They rolled around on the huge bed. Su Yun finally reached out to unbutton Zhuo Meiyan's collar amidst the crazy kisses. His trembling fingers unbuttoned the buttons one by one. He was as careful as if he was entering enemy territory. Zhuo Meiyan's wriggling body seemed to be very cooperative with Su Yun's hands as he unbuttoned her collar. She allowed Su Yun to caress every inch of her skin as he undid the last button. Su Yun quickly conquered 2 mountains and conquered Zhuo Meiyan's heart. He kept kissing Zhuo Meiyan's neck, her ears, and slowly moved down. Zhua Meiyan's entire body felt like it was on fire. That heat burned every inch of her skin. Her entire body was filled with a scorching temperature. Even though Su Yun had already peeled off her upper body layer by layer, Zhua Meiyan still felt her body heat up uncontrollably. Zhua Meiyan could only feel a trace of coolness where Su Yun kissed. However, after the kiss and Su Yun's lips and tongue left, that place that had just felt a trace of coolness would burn up again. It was so hot that Zhua Meiyan could only wriggle her body crazily to feel better. Su Yun's lips quickly moved down Zhua Meiyan's neck. When his warm and moist lips touched the forbidden area on Zhua Meiyan's chest, Zhua Meiyan moaned softly. Zhua Meiyan enjoyed the torturous feeling. At this moment, she felt as if she had completely wrapped Su Yun in her body. It was as if Su Yun's entire body belonged to her. Zhua Meiyan liked this feeling. She liked that Su Yun was teasing the forbidden area on her chest again and again. The two of them continued to melt. Zhua Meiyan's hands had unknowingly lifted up Su Yun's clothes. When Su Yun raised his head, she took off all of his clothes. Zhua Meiyan threw Su Yun's clothes to the side and hugged the body that was as hot as her own without hesitation. When the two hot bodies were pressed together, the heat seemed to rise again. It was so hot that the two of them had no choice but to fumble and explore to take off their clothes. When the clothes were thrown to the side of the bed, the two of them became more and more naked. At some point, Su Yun finally took off the last piece of underwear on Zhua Meiyan's body. Then, he instinctively searched for that warm place. Zhua Meiyan's pandering and Su Yun's initiative allowed the two of them to become one. When Zhua Meiyan finally felt that she had completely wrapped herself around Su Yun, she felt that she was so happy. Everything was proceeding and developing normally. Some things didn't need textbooks or lecturers. It was completely natural. Su Yun also finally understood the beauty of this. After all, he really didn't know anything about the night he and Yu Meiren were in perfect harmony. Zhua Meiyan wildly moaned without restraint. She didn't care about the soundproofing of the hotel room at all. She also didn't care if someone heard her. At this moment, she only wanted to enjoy this special pleasure that only Su Yun could give her. Everything had happened too suddenly. She wasn't mentally prepared at all. However, this kind of suddenness seemed to be able to make them feel this special feeling and emotion. Everything in the room seemed to have stopped. Only the man and woman on the bed were left. Chapter 619. After an unknown amount of time, Su Yun and Zhua Meiyan finally fell asleep in each other's arms. When everything was over, Su Yun only felt that the sky was dark. He didn't even know what he had just done. Everything was like a dream, and it happened so naturally. Su Yun only remembered that the moment their bodies touched, he had already forgotten about his mission and mission. There was no complicated reason for what he wanted to do with Zhua Meiyan. It was just a man and a woman, instinctively doing things that made each other happy. It was that simple. Although the two of them who had exhausted all their strength fell into a deep sleep, the others who couldn't find the two of them were at a loss. Lin Gu thought that they should be the last to return to the hotel, but when they got back, except for Guagua and Bu Fifan, no one else was in the hotel. Wang Zhe was also very surprised. Didn't they say that they would go back to the hotel after dinner? And after not seeing each other for so long, they must have a lot to talk about. How could they not find each other? Guagua shook her head and sighed. There must be some interesting place on Qingdao, and they left us to have fun by themselves. Uncle Pigeon, quickly call my dad and ask him to tell us where they are. It's better to have fun together than alone. Lin Gu agreed with Guagua's last two sentences. It was better to have fun alone than to have fun together. He immediately dialed Su Yun's number, but no one answered. At this time, he could only look at Wang Zhe for help. Wang Zhe understood Lin Ji's meaning and immediately called Zhua Meiyan, but the result was the same. No one answered. Wang Zhe had no choice but to knock on Zhua Yeming's room for a while. Zhua Yeming's sleepy voice came from inside. Who is it? F*CK, it's so late. Can't you let me sleep? Then came the sound of footsteps and complaints. It's tiring to work at the construction site during the day, and you don't let me sleep at night. Zhuo Yeming opened the door and saw these guys coming back from the snack street. He frowned impatiently and said, "If you're done eating and playing, go back to your room and sleep." "What are you doing? Are you going to show off what you ate and played in front of me?" "Tsk, I don't care. I've been to all the places on Qingdao. Don't show off. I want to sleep." "Since you've eaten and played everywhere, you must know where my dad and the others went to play, right?" Guagua said. "Where did they go?" Zhuo Yeming's eyes brightened up. "They went out to play. F*ck, why didn't they bring me? What kind of brother-in-law is this? How can he treat his brother-in-law like this? They sneaked out to play and left me to sleep here alone. That's disgusting." Bu Fifan helplessly rolled his eyes at Zhuo Yeming. It seemed that this guy didn't know anything either. "So, no one else knows where they went?" "Yes, I'll call Zhang Wanning and ask if they're with Mr. Tang." Wang Zhe quickly made a call and then said to everyone disappointedly, "Mr. Tang received a call from the decoration company. They need to change the design of the drainage system urgently tomorrow, so they went back to the construction site with the Zhang brothers. Brother Yun and Mr. Zhua are not with them." "So, they're the only ones who can't be found now?" Zhuo Yeming touched his chin and said, "Forget it. It's fine if they can't be found. They're so old that they can't get lost. Since they didn't answer the phone, it means that they don't want to answer it. Maybe they haven't seen each other for a long time and have something to say." Lin Guo also nodded thoughtfully. It seemed that his guess was right. Su Yun came to Qingdao this time to find Zhuo Meiyan. He must have met Gu Zueran in Shenzhen. Gu Zueran must have said something to him. "Yes, since we can't find them, let's go to bed." Lin Guo said to Guagua, "Don't worry, your dad must have something important to do. If he's really going out to play, he'll definitely bring you along. How could he just leave you alone in the hotel without asking about you? Don't you think so, Guagua?" Guagua shook her head and denied Lin Ji's reasonable words. She said, "I don't think my dad has anything important to do. If he came to Qingdao to deal with something important, why would he bring me and Brother Bu here? Humph, I think he's having an affair." Lin Gu was shocked. The intuition of children these days was really accurate. She guessed it right. Damn, she's not normal. She's really not normal. Forget it. She's an adult. She should do something that adults should do. Guagua waved her small hand understandingly and said, "Anyway, she can't leave me and Brother Bu alone. Let's play by ourselves. We don't have to worry about her for a few days." Bu Fifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry at his little sister who was acting like an adult. However, he didn't care why Su Yun came to Qingdao. It was enough for him to have his brother, Wang Yu, to play with him. Moreover, he had Guagua, a happy person, and Lin Gu and Wang Zhe, two experts, to protect him. He was very satisfied. After giving up on looking for Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan, everyone went back to their rooms to sleep. As for Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan, they could do whatever they wanted. They didn't even care about Guagua. Who else would have the time to worry about them? It was a quiet night. Everyone slept soundly. When Su Yun opened her eyes, the sun had already left a fish-belly white mark on the thick sunshade curtain. This clearly proved that today was a great sunny day. It seemed that the air and weather on Qingdao were many times better than in Yanjing and northern Ji. Just as Su Yun was about to get up, a body on the other side of the bed wriggled. When that smooth and warm skin touched Su Yun's thigh, Su Yun's mind buzzed. He quickly went back to 7 or 8 hours ago. The crazy scene of him and Zhuo Meiyan on this bed rushed into his mind. Holy **T. Su Yun could only sigh with emotion about his bravery and martial prowess last night. Everything happened too suddenly and too dramatically. After so many twists and turns, Su Yun didn't even know what kind of thoughts he had when he did those things with Zhuo Meiyan last night. Zhuo Meiyan hadn't woken up yet, but Su Yun had a guilty conscience. He carefully put down Zhuo Meiyan's arm on his thigh and gently put on all his clothes. After a simple wash, he sneaked out of the room. Soo-yoon took out his phone and found that it was almost 9 o'clock. He really didn't know how long they had been crazy last night. He still felt tired and sleepy now. At this time, Soo-yoon saw a few missed calls on his phone. They were all from Lin-gu last night when he and Swo Mei-yen were making love. Soo-yoon quickly called back. "You called me last night." "Brother, aren't you talking nonsense? If I didn't call you, why would I call you? Where are you now?" Lin-gu said bluntly, "I called you 3 times last night, but you didn't answer. Even if you didn't want to answer, you should have sent me a message to tell me where you were so that I wouldn't be so worried." Soo-yoon said embarrassedly, "I'm at the hotel." "Don't worry." Brag again. "Do you think I didn't go back to the hotel last night?" Lin-gu said, "Come on, I won't expose you. It's fine as long as you're fine. F*ck, I'm at the hotel. Are you in the room? I'll go find you now." Soo-yoon said. Lin-gu waved his hand and said, "Even if you're at the hotel now, I'm not. You left Guagua, such a little demon, with me. I'm helping you take care of the child. It was only 5 o'clock this morning, and she asked me to take her and Bu Fifan to see the sunrise by the sea. We're climbing the mountain after watching the sunrise. Guagua said she wanted to feel the feeling of a mountain towering over the sea. Hee, thank you for your hard work." Soo-yoon smiled and said, "I'm relieved that Guagua and Bu Fifan are with you. Come on, I'll be your nanny. You can do whatever you need to do." Lin-gu said, "I know you must have met Gu Zueran. He's told you everything. You should take the initiative. When a man and a woman are together, if the man doesn't take the initiative, then there's no chance." Soo-yoon was speechless and said, "Okay, don't worry about it. Take care of the child." After hanging up the phone, Soo-yoon felt a little hungry. He left the hotel and took a taxi to a Guchin Island restaurant. Guchin Island's shrimp dumplings were very famous. It was definitely suitable for Soo-yoon, who was hungry in the morning, to have 2 bowls. After wolfing down the food, Soo-yoon finally let out a long sigh of relief. He had done what he needed to do. Whether it was because they liked each other and let nature take its course, or because of the mission in his heart, at least Soo-yoon could rest assured that nothing would happen to Swo Mei-yen. To be honest, he didn't know how to face Swo Mei-yen now. At least during the day, he needed time to calm down. Swo Mei-yen also needed time to calm down. After breakfast, Soo-yoon really didn't have anywhere to go. The only thing he cared about in Guchin Island was the Guchin Film Plaza. So, Soo-yoon could only take a taxi and go directly to the Guchin Film Plaza. The construction of the plaza was so smooth because of Tang Jiao. Soo-yoon felt that he should find a chance to thank her properly. At this time, Tang Jiao was probably busy at the construction site of the Guchin Film Plaza. It was almost the end of the year. She must be under a lot of pressure. Soon, the taxi arrived at the construction site of the Guchin Film Plaza. Soo-yoon paid the fare and got out of the taxi. He was ready to help Tang Jiao. Although he didn't know much about construction, he still had some basic knowledge. No matter what, he was a national high-level talent who had received high-end education in the Dragon Brigade. As soon as Soo-yoon got out of the taxi, his sixth sense gave him a bad feeling. He looked back and saw a black Rolls-Royce Phantom parked not far from the construction site. 2 men in black suits stood on both sides of the car. Even though they were wearing sunglasses, Soo-yoon still felt that they were looking at him. Soo-yoon did not know what kind of mentality he was in, but in the end, he made a choice that even he did not expect. He actually took a step forward and walked straight to the luxury car. Soo-yoon had a vague feeling that the person in the car was looking for him. A feeling was just a feeling. There was no reason. At the same time, Soo-yoon also felt that the people in the car were looking for him with ill intentions. Chapter 620. Soo-yoon leisurely walked to the side of the expensive Rolls-Royce Phantom. The men in black suits beside the car began to look vigilant. Soo-yoon really didn't understand why they were vigilant. It was their boss who came to find trouble with him, not him. Even if they were nervous, it should be him who was nervous. Soon, Soo-yoon walked to the side of the car, and the men in black suits all had their hands behind their backs. They put their hands on the back of their waists, as if they were ready to shoot at any time. Since Soo-yoon dared to walk here, he was not afraid that they would dare to shoot. He smiled slightly without any malice. "You are the ones who came to find me. You are also the ones who have guns in your hands. I am the one who is in trouble. I am also the one who is unarmed. So you don't have to be so nervous, right?" Soo-yoon said lightly. Because the car was full of privacy glass, and the curtain of the side window was closed, he couldn't see the situation in the car at all. However, so far, the car didn't open, and no one came out to greet him. This made Soo-yoon a little surprised. Was there no one in the car who really wanted to find him? Just as Soo-yoon was puzzled, the door of the car's passenger seat opened. A well-proportioned young man with an elegant hairstyle came out. He looked about the same age as Soo-yoon. This was not the point. The point was that his aura was similar to Soo-yoon's. Soo-yoon finally understood why this person got out of the car now. It was nothing more than to give him the cold shoulder. Mr. Soo is really worthy of his reputation. Whether it is insight or mentality, they are far better than us ordinary people. The man with the elegant hairstyle who got out of the car said lightly, "Even if you foresee danger, you can still walk leisurely. It is really something we can't compare with. No wonder our boss repeatedly warned us to be polite to Mr. Soo." Soo-yoon's expression didn't change at all. If you are an ordinary person, then how can a real ordinary person live? Don't you think so? The man with the elegant hairstyle didn't joke at all. "Since you are our boss's guest, then I am an ordinary person compared to you. Mr. Soo, get in the car." Then, Soo-yoon smiled and said, "All right, let's not talk nonsense here. Whoever wants me to be their guest should come and find me personally. If they were just looking for a lackey to run errands, wouldn't they be looking down on me? Doesn't that mean I don't feel like an honored guest? What do you think, commoner?" "Mr. Soo, I've already given you enough face. If you insist on doing this, then don't blame me for being impolite." A cold light flashed in the eyes of the man with the flowing hair. It seemed that if Soo-yoon did not cooperate, he would make a move at any time. Soo-yoon smiled disdainfully and pointed to the police car that was passing by not far away. "Do you see? Now is the time when Qingdao is cracking down on prostitution, gambling, drugs, and gangs. It's the time to build a civilized city. There are police cars all over the streets. You want to fight with me? Unless you're out of your mind, tell your men to take their hands off their backs. Don't let the police suspect you. Even if I stand here and don't move, I'll still bully you because you don't dare to shoot. Make it clear that your boss asked you to come and invite someone. You can't invite someone without sincerity." The man with the flowing hair didn't seem to expect that Soo-yoon would be so uncooperative. His expression was a little impatient. "Mr. Soo, you're right. Our boss asked us to invite you, but Hua Xia has an idiom called, 'First try peaceful means before resorting to force.' You shouldn't go too far. The person who invited me didn't come out to meet me. What kind of courtesy is this?" After Soo-yoon finished speaking, he turned around and left, leaving only one sentence. "After an hour, ask your boss to wait for me in this place in person. Maybe I'll meet him and make friends with him when I'm in a good mood." "You." The man with the flowing hair couldn't wait to rush up and make a move, but he was very clear that his boss's order was invite and not tie. Seeing Soo-yoon walk away, the man with the flowing hair gnashed his teeth in hatred. He suddenly wanted to punch the car door, but the fist he swung out abruptly stopped. This was his boss's car. The man with the flowing hair couldn't express his anger. He could only turn around and punch one of the men wearing a black suit. The man in the black suit screamed miserably. The man with the flowing hair was sent flying more than 10 meters away and fell heavily on the ground. Such a powerful punch was definitely not something an ordinary person could have. Soo-yoon didn't hear the sound behind him. He now began to roughly understand who was looking for him. That Rolls-Royce's license plate number was from the Yenjing area. And that man with the flowing hair was definitely a super expert. Apart from that big boss, who else could have such grandeur? However, Soo-yoon really didn't expect that this guy could find him so quickly. This was really beyond Soo-yoon's expectations. Since Soo-yoon left Xing Anling, it could be said that he didn't have a fixed place to stay. He had been in the process of acting. How did the other party find him so accurately? Interesting. It seemed that this big boss was more difficult to deal with than he thought. While he was thinking about this, Soo-yoon had already arrived at the headquarters. The Zhang brothers, who had been arranged by Soo-yoon to help Tang Jiu, immediately came to greet him and took Soo-yoon to the office to find Tang Jiu. To be honest, Soo-yoon was really grateful to the Zhang brothers. With them by Tang Jiu's side, he was much more relieved. Tang Jiu was now wholeheartedly focused on the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza. This was not because her Tang group needed this project to make a living, but because this project was Soo-yoon's godfather's last wish. She must do her best to make it perfect. Although it was impossible to have a perfect building in this world, Tang Jiu still wanted to strive for the best. Therefore, even though it was so late last night, when she received the proposal from the design director of the decoration company about the irregularities in the drainage system and the passenger evacuation system, she immediately asked to go to the site to see it before making a decision. It could be said that because of this matter, Tang Jiu was almost busy until 3 o'clock in the morning before returning to the hotel to sleep. Today, she came to the headquarters of the engineering department again at 8 o'clock in the morning. Tang Jiu was very clear that she had to perfect all the details. Only then could she have time to spend with her father during the new year. Although the construction of the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza site would continue for a few more days, Tang Jiu didn't have time to continue wasting time here. There were still many things waiting for her to deal with in the Tang group. After all, it was the new year. No company was idle. As the young president of such a large group, Tang Jiu still had a lot to learn, so naturally, she was busier and more tired. Don't be so busy every day. You have to strike a balance between work and rest. Pay attention to your health. You have dark circles under your eyes at such a young age. What if you can't get married in the future? Soo-yoon smiled and said softly. Tang Jiu was looking down at the drawings. When she heard Soo-yoon's voice, she was startled. She hurriedly raised her head and said, "Why are you suddenly here? Where is President Zhua? Isn't he with you?" It just so happens that the drainage system and passenger evacuation system were just improved yesterday. Take a look. Isn't it more perfect now? I'm just here to see you. Don't talk about work, Soo-yoon said. As long as you think there is no problem, I'm relieved. It doesn't matter if the construction period is a day earlier or later. You mustn't collapse from exhaustion. Otherwise, I'll feel too guilty. Tang Jiu put down the pen in her hand and looked at Soo-yoon with a faint smile. Why do I suddenly feel that you are so good at talking? Do you feel sorry for me for working so hard? That's right. It's not just sorry. It's really sorry. Soo-yoon, right now, I can't wait for you to go back to the hotel and have a good night's sleep. Only then will I feel at ease. Don't worry. If I'm tired, I'll naturally take a nap on the sofa here. Tang Jiu pointed at the sofa recliner. There was a thin blanket on it. Don't feel sad when you see it. I'm just saying. I really haven't slept on it. Soo-yoon frowned slightly. He didn't believe Tang Jiu's last sentence. He walked straight to the sofa. Soo-yoon picked up the thin blanket and sniffed it. He said to Tang Jiu in a guilty and reproachful tone, "If you haven't slept on it before, why does it still have your body smell? In the future, don't stay up here. If you're tired, ask Zhang Wanning and the others to send you back to the hotel. The weather is cold now. You'll catch a cold." Tang Jiu's mind wasn't on Soo-yoon's advice. She stared at Soo-yoon with wide eyes. "Do you have a dog's nose? How can the blanket have my body's smell? You're saying it as if you've smelled my body before. You think I haven't smelled it before? It's not like we haven't slept on the same bed before. Who doesn't know who the other is?" Soo-yoon rolled his eyes. Let's not talk about that time at the hotel. When I was in Ji-Bay, didn't I sleep with you in your room? I know very well what your body smells like. Tang Jiu's face and ears turned red from Su Yun's words. Lower your voice. People will misunderstand if they hear you. At this moment, Zhang Wanning and Zhang Yongliang, who were outside the door, looked at each other and nodded in admiration. Su Yun was indeed their idol. Not only could he handle a woman as cold as white lips, bamboo leaves, Qing Zhua, Meiyan, he could also handle a strong woman like Tang Jiu. Just as their hearts were filled with admiration, Su Yun's voice came from inside the room. You two, stop standing outside and eavesdropping. It's not what you think it is. Stop thinking blindly. Go do what you need to do. Zhang Wanning quickly waved his hand and called for Zhang Yongliang and Zhang Wanning to quickly leave the door of the headquarters office. He was secretly delighted. There must be something going on between the two of them. Otherwise, he wouldn't be afraid of them eavesdropping. Brother, when should we learn from Brother Yun and learn how to pick up girls? Zhang Yongliang said to Zhang Wanning with a smile. Zhang Wanning rolled his eyes at his brother. Want to pick up girls? Learn from Brother Yun? Forget it. I think you should save it. Find time to smooth out the birthmark on your face before talking about picking up girls. F***CK, you're talking as if you don't have one on your face. Zhang Yongliang said disdainfully, I'm not going to get a birthmark. My body was given to me by my parents. Even if it's a birthmark, it was given to me by my parents. If I get a birthmark, I won't be called Ghostface Azura anymore. Hee hee. Maybe some brothers in the underworld will give me face and call me Jade-Faced Azura instead. Zhang Wanning almost burst out laughing. With your face, you call yourself Jade-Faced Azura? Ha ha ha, you're a red-faced monster. Ha ha ha. Chapter 621. Tang Jiu hadn't seen Su Yun for a long time. Yesterday, there were many people around, so she didn't talk much. Now that she had a chance to be alone with Su Yun, she naturally had a lot to talk about. She had learned from Guagua that they had all moved to Shenzhen, so she was worried about her father's situation in Hadong. I wonder how my father is doing in Hadong alone. Don't worry. Most of the people in Hadong are my brothers, and there are also people who stayed behind to take care of the medicinal cuisine business. I told them to tell Uncle Tang if he needs anything. Su Yun. Also, the municipal party secretary of Hadong is Qin Wan-er's father. I heard from Chong that their seniors like to fish at night, and they became friends by chance. So don't worry. Uncle Tang's connections in Hadong are stronger than yours in Ji-Bay. I'm afraid he should be more worried about you now. Don't worry. Tang Jiu didn't expect her father to be so powerful. He had become so familiar with Hadong in such a short time, and even made friends with the municipal party secretary. It seemed that her worries were unnecessary. No wonder I've had feelings for Hadong since I was young. Haha, now it seems that it's fate. I didn't expect my father to enjoy his old age in Hadong. Phew, I'm going to Hadong for New Year's this year. Since you're almost done with your work in the company, you should take a vacation early and accompany Uncle Tang. Take it as a way to relax. Su Yun looked at the time. An hour passed quickly. I have a friend who wants to see me. It's almost time. He should be coming to pick me up. I'll go first. Don't make yourself too tired. Okay. Su Yun's concern warmed Tang Jiu's heart. Take care. If you have things to do in Qingdao, just do it. Guagua and the others are here to play. Don't worry. With Lin Gu around, Su Yun was naturally at ease. Tang Jiu and the Zhang brothers sent Su Yun out of the command center. They saw a Rolls-Royce parked across the road not far away. Su Yun pointed at the car and signaled that they didn't need to send him off. Tang Jiu didn't know that Su Yun had such a powerful friend on Qingdao. Anyone who could ride a Rolls-Royce was no ordinary person. Zhang Yongliang watched enviously as Su Yun walked up to the Rolls-Royce. He witnessed someone open the door for him and invite him into the car. He couldn't help but sigh. Brother Yun really makes me feel more and more mysterious. I don't even know how awesome he is. Just thinking about it makes me feel that he's unfathomable. Too awesome. Super awesome. We can't catch up with Brother Yun even if we flatter him for several lifetimes. Haha, so we must do what Brother Yun tells us to do well. Zhang Wanning said, we must protect President Tang's safety and take care of his daily life. Tang Jiu had been in contact with these two for a long time. He didn't think that they were ugly and scary. Okay, stop flattering me. I haven't reached the point where I can't take care of my own life, right? Go do your work. After I finish sorting out this information, I'll rest early today. I'm going to play with my sister Guagua. The Zhang brothers watched Tang Jiu walk back to the command center's office and looked at each other. Tang Jiu and Guagua were god-sisters. Guagua was Su Yun's goddaughter. Su Yun and Tang Jiu had an ambiguous relationship. This relationship was really complicated. They didn't know when Guagua would suddenly realize that she had to call her god-sister godmother. Su Yun walked to the side of the Rolls-Royce. Immediately, someone opened the door for him. Su Yun didn't hesitate and got in directly. He knew very well that the big boss didn't do anything to him this time. Instead, he sent his right-hand man to pick him up. This was an olive branch. Since the big boss wanted to recruit Su Yun, he must have taken a fancy to Su Yun's strength and talent. That was why Su Yun did what he did just now. Even if he didn't want to accept the big boss's olive branch, he still wanted to do something for him. Who asked this bastard to almost kill him with a gun in Wang Xinyu's boudoir? After Su Yun got in the car and closed the door, he quickly saw the big boss that he was curious about. Middle-aged. It was difficult to estimate his specific age from his appearance. His body wasn't fat, but it wasn't skinny either. It was just a little less than symmetrical. The man with slicked back hair was very stylish, but he didn't have the confidence and pride that such a powerful person should have. His eyes weren't deep, but he couldn't tell what he wanted to say. The first feeling that this person gave Su Yun was that he was uncomfortable. Something was wrong, but he couldn't see through it. Hello, Mr. Su. The big boss smiled and finally spoke to Su Yun, who was sizing him up. I heard from Zhang Meng that you wanted me to pick you up personally. Only then would you give me face. I'm coming right now. I don't know if this sincerity can move Mr. Su and make you smile. At this time, the car had started. The guy with the elegant hairstyle was sitting in the front passenger seat. It seemed that he should be the Zhang Meng that the big boss was talking about. Su Yun ignored the big boss's question. Instead, he looked directly at Zhang Meng and said, Where are we going now? You took me away without my consent. This should be considered kidnapping and abduction, right? That's against the law. Zhang Meng turned around and glared fiercely at Su Yun. Our boss is talking to you. You told him to come personally, and he came personally, but now you're not giving him any face at all. Surnamed Su, what on earth do you want? Do you want us to use force to make you happy? Su Yun smiled lazily, not at all thinking that his actions had offended the big boss. After Zhang Meng vented, Su Yun said indifferently, Your boss likes to joke too much. I told him to pick me up personally, but I didn't tell him to get an imposter to pick me up. Hee hee, but since he put in so much effort, it can be considered that he thinks highly of me. Su Yun's words instantly caused the expressions of everyone in the car to change, especially Zhang Meng, who was sitting in the front passenger seat. He stared at Su Yun with wide eyes, then looked at the big boss's double. It could be said that the makeup was perfect. How could Su Yun tell that it wasn't? Wait a minute, that wasn't right. Even if the big boss's double didn't wear makeup, then Su Yun shouldn't have known that he was a double. Because Su Yun had never met the big boss before. Thinking of this, Zhang Meng couldn't help but take a deep breath. Who on earth was this guy? How could he be so sure that the big boss had used a double? It seemed that he had really underestimated this guy. No wonder the big boss hadn't issued a kill order for this guy. It turned out that he really wanted this guy to be under his command. An imposter will always be an imposter. Su Yun smiled slightly. Without waiting for them to ask, he muttered to himself, how could a guy who doesn't even have the slightest bit of arrogance become the boss of such a large multinational corporation? How could he control so many capable captains of the Viper expedition? And how could he make a ruthless Zhang Meng by his side obediently submit to him? Seeing that he had been exposed, the impostor didn't dare to say anything more. He squatted aside obediently and didn't say anything. He felt uneasy. He really didn't know if he would be scolded by the big boss when he went back. Hearing this, Zhang Meng sneered, "Thank you for your compliment. I just realized that ruthless is actually a compliment. Whether the same idiom is complimentary or derogatory depends on who is using it." Su Yun said lightly, "Since you think I'm complimenting you, then shouldn't you let me know where you want to take me?" Zhang Meng said expressionlessly, "Mr. Su, I'm really sorry. No matter if I tell you the destination now or not, you can't not go. So why are you still asking so much nonsense? Even if I don't tell you, I won't stop the car and let you leave. I don't need you to stop the car, but I can tell you that if I don't know the destination, I will definitely leave." Su Yun's smile was very calm. "But if I don't stop the car, how are you going to leave?" Zhang Meng deliberately argued with Su Yun. Su Yun also put away the smile on his face and said to Zhang Meng without any trace of politeness, "Then you can try and see if I can leave. Haha, if you go back with an empty car, I'm afraid your big boss will scold you, right? Do you want to bet on it?" Zhang Meng was once again choked by Su Yun. He realized that even if he didn't stop the car, it wouldn't be difficult for a supermaster to move. He really didn't expect that Su Yun was such a difficult person to deal with. No wonder the big boss asked him to do this in person. After 3 minutes of silence, Su Yun said lightly, "Have you thought about it? The big boss has a private club in the eastern suburbs of Qingdao, only for him and his most important friends to enjoy. This time he is going to receive you there." Zhang Meng said, "Are you satisfied now? Our big boss is sincere, but I don't see any sincerity in Mr. Su." "Sincerity? Do I need sincerity?" Su Yun asked back, "It's your boss who asked you to beg me to go there. I didn't ask to see your boss. What sincerity do I need?" "Haha, I think you must be mistaken. If you need my sincerity, you don't need to send your lackey to pick me up again and again. Don't push your luck." Zhang Meng suddenly clenched his fists. Su Yun still had an indifferent look on his face. "You dare to hit your boss's VIP? I think you're tired of living." Although Zhang Meng was annoyed by Su Yun calling him a lackey and really wanted to beat Su Yun, he was also clear about why the boss asked him to come here. No matter how angry he was, he would never dare to hit Su Yun. Su Yun seemed to have taken a fancy to this point and provoked Zhang Meng again and again. Finally, Zhang Meng stopped talking and just looked at the front silently. Su Yun took out a cigarette from his pocket and lit it, smoking leisurely. It wasn't because Su Yun was addicted to smoking, but because he felt that there was no smell of tobacco in the car. It seemed that the big boss didn't like the smell of tobacco, so he wanted to keep some for him as a souvenir. "Who allowed you to smoke in the car?" Zhang Meng saw Su Yun smoking and was about to fly into a rage on the spot. Su Yun didn't care and spat out a mouthful of smoke. "The guest can do whatever he wants. You don't even know this shit. I really don't know why your boss asked you to pick me up. It's just a cigarette. Don't make a fuss. Lead the way properly. I promise you I won't litter the car with cigarette butts." You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.